Just we have a great show for you tonight. Very excited to be back here with you tonight on Wednesday. We have a lot to talk about tonight, lots to get into. Big show. Our featured story, we're talking all about the terror attack in Washington, D.C. by an Afghan refugee.
Bastards.
I'm sure you've heard the news. Very tragic, very sad, but also very predictable. No surprises. Very sad, but not surprising at all.
It was bound to happen eventually.
I've been talking about this throughout the year. The violence, political violence, is just beginning. From the left against the right, from the left against law enforcement, maybe from law enforcement itself, from the intel agencies. And it's more confusing than ever. We don't even know where these attacks are coming from necessarily or why they happen, to what end. They could just as easily be what they appear to be, which is attacks from partisans against other partisans, or they could be psychological events intended to change the political dynamic. And we'll talk tonight all about it. Earlier today, 2 National Guard soldiers were shot in Washington, D.C., about a mile from the White House. A killer ambushed them, shot them in the head with a handgun. They are both in critical condition, although it was reported earlier falsely they had died. It appears that they are still alive, although severely wounded. The shooter was apprehended, and he is a 29-year-old Afghan.
Psycho.
Who was brought into the United States under a particular program under President Biden after the withdrawal of U.S. forces from Afghanistan. And in particular, many of the Afghans that were brought here following the withdrawal in 2022 were collaborators with the U.S. military. Translators, soldiers, mercenaries, people that worked with U.S. soldiers and special forces. Afghan locals were brought into the United States, most likely to spare them from certain death or persecution under the Taliban. And this shooter was one of those people. 29 years old, Afghan, had been brought here under that program. Visa was approved earlier in the year. I believe the application was 24. He received it in 25, and he's been here. The family says he's loyal to the United States, but apparently not. Witnesses say he shouted Allahu Akbar before he shot the soldiers, but that's not confirmed. And we'll talk tonight all about it. There's 2 stories here. There's 2 angles. One story, which is sort of apparent, is that a Muslim refugee from the Middle East who shouldn't have been here came to the United States and shot Trump's soldiers because he hates our way of life, because he is a Muslim extremist. He harbors anti-American attitudes. That's one story. Another story is that a close collaborator with U.S. forces for 10 years, working hand in glove with the U.S. military, was rescued by the United States, brought to the nation's capital, and then attacked National Guard in D.C. The parents don't know why. They say he loved the United States. They said he worked with the United States for over a decade.
That sounds hard to believe.
Is this authentic? Is this Islamic fundamentalism? Or is this some sort of incident concerning former U.S. military personnel, which would raise a lot of questions about what exactly happened here? It's early to say. It only happened earlier in the evening, and we only just identified the suspect, or sources close to the DOJ did earlier today. And so we'll talk all about that tonight. That'll be our main story. Very tragic, very sad. The larger story, of course, is that this country is unraveling.
Yeah.
And I predicted this, but this is not a crazy prediction. When Thomas Crooks shot Donald Trump, every psycho in the country noticed. And they saw the infamy, and they saw the potential. And when Luigi Mangione shot the CEO of United Healthcare, the way he was lionized, the way he was sexualized, every psycho, again, noticed. And they started devising their plans. They started scheming. And ever since then, we saw the assassination of Charlie Kirk, attacks on ICE, National Guard. Now this, it's only going to escalate. It's only going to get worse, and it could be organic and it could be fake. It could be fake to exacerbate organic violence. At a certain point, it takes on a life of its own. They light the fuse, and the whole thing blows up. So it's a scary time. Everybody be safe. Holiday season's coming up. Thanksgiving's tomorrow. Christmas soon after that. Got to be careful. Have to be vigilant because things are not as they seem. These are strange times. Drone attacks. I've been saying this. This is my next prediction. Screenshot this. We are going to see a drone-based terror attack on a mass gathering. I would imagine within the next 18 to 24 months. It's not hard to predict that. It's not hard to see that one coming. Russia's making 1.8 million drones per year. Ukraine is making millions of drones. It always happens like this. You think all those weapons are created? Some of them don't wind up in the hands of the wrong people? Can't control it. People aren't ready. So I think we're due for another very turbulent period of time in our political history. But if we're not already, but we'll talk all about that. We're also going to talk tonight about Marjorie Taylor Greene's epic crash out on a lighter note. Oh, yeah. You know, you guys, this is why we play. We shouldn't, but we shouldn't. It's not right, but this is really why we do it. This is what makes it so rewarding. We live for this. Do we live for this? Or do we live for this?
We do.
This is why we get out of bed. This is why we brush our teeth. This is why we do it. This is why we go to work. It makes it all worth it. Marjorie Greene, never been a fan. Never been a fan of women in politics. Better yet, never been a fan of women in general. Pause. Never been a fan of women in politics. Never been a fan of a woman in Congress who's going to be the leader of the populist movement. Sorry.
Whatever that means.
Not my first choice.
Yeah.
And me and Marjorie, we've had our feud. We've had our beef in the past. Tucker Carlson's given me a hard time. He says, why do you attack Marjorie? She's sincere. Okay, well, she's an idiot. So she could be sincere. She's an idiot. And we have problems. We've had problems. And just when I thought I was going to have to put that aside for the sake of the movement, I was going to have to get along with Marjorie Taylor Greene, she reminded me that I'm always right. She resigned from Congress last week, and everybody wondered why. They said, does she have this sophisticated political agenda? Does she have these ambitions for higher office? Is she running for governor? Is she running for president? She has surged to 6% chance of being the nominee on Polymarket. Stop the presses. Put a stop on the Marjorie Greene options and calls. No. She didn't resign because she wants to run for president. She resigned because it got too hard.
Yeah.
Because the pressure got to be a little too much. Southern belle, early hominid, Georgian girl, can't play in the man's game. Can't play in politics.
They need to just stay out.
If you can't take the heat, maybe it's time to get back in the kitchen.
Ooh.
Can't take the heat. Can't take the pressure. Maybe it's time to get back in the kitchen.
Damn, that was a good one.
Thanksgiving is upon us. Turkey, stuffing, mashed potatoes. Thanks. So Marjorie Greene, she's out. She left Congress. And like I said, everybody thought she was going to run for president. And it turns out she just quit because she freaked out. And she went on Twitter today and she had an absolute typical female meltdown.
Total crash out.
Typical female meltdown. This is why you can't put women in politics. Thank you, Marjorie. I really should send her a thank you note. Thank you, Marjorie, for proving to everybody this is why you can't let women in politics, because they just cry. Because they just cry. When shit gets too hard, they just cry. And you can't cry in politics because we have to save our country. We need the police. We need the National Guard to break the backs of our enemies. And it turns out you can't cry. You can't just have an emotional crash out. You can't have an emotional bitch fest.
You can't just throw your hands
you're upset.
up.
This is what happens. So Marjorie is on Twitter. Mike Cernovich, who I don't even like, left her a very innocent reply. He said, you know, you should have continued and served out your full term. You should have finished what you started. And Marjorie launches this big screed. She says, well, I should serve out my term. Why don't you run for Congress? That's what she says. You should get off your ass and run for Congress. I've been fighting so hard. She goes and she says, what do you want? You want me to die like Charlie Kirk? Is that what you want? You want me to get killed like Charlie Kirk?
Oh.
Are you kidding me? A congresswoman.
Wow.
To Mike Cernovich, all he said was, you know, you really should have finished out your full term. It's only 2 years. That's not a long time.
Seriously.
2 years? You're halfway through. Just, hey, run through the finish line. Run through the first baseline. He said, just finish.
She
goes,
busted
why?
us down to
You
an
want me to get
even slimmer
Why
majority.
don't you get off your ass, stop being a keyboard warrior, and put the phone down and you run? Oh my gosh. Women in politics. And, you know, the only thing that I regret is that I wasn't with other people. I wasn't with the men, so we could all kind of share the knowing glance, like, get a load of this psycho bitch crashing out. Get a load of the emotional meltdown. Oh, boy, here we go. That's the only regret. I was, like, in bed on Twitter. Then it gets better. She comes back for more. She can't help herself. She comes back for seconds. She's a glutton. She's a
really
woman
can't.
of consumption. She comes back for more. She quote tweets her own tweet, her own crash out on a different account. On her official Congresswoman account, the second account, and she says, I'll say this in the nicest way I can. Fuck you.
Wow.
And then she launches into yet another tirade. This time directed at men specifically. She said, typical man, typical Republican man. You expect your dinner on the table, but I've been telling you that the trash hasn't been taken out and the dishes aren't clean. Then she closes it by saying, I'm going to tell you, Republican men, make your own dinner, asshole, and clean up when you're done.
What the fuck?
Okay. The Congresswoman from Georgia. Representative Green. This is a sitting congresswoman. She says such a typical Republican
Not
man.
serious at all.
Make your own dinner, ass, and clean up when you're done. It's like, oh my gosh. Thank you.
Look at Nick.
Thanks.
He's happy as a pig in shit.
Christmas came early, man. Black Friday came early. What a gift to us misogynists. What a gift. Thank you. A gift to the misogynistic men in your life. Classic example of why you can't have any women in politics. Love it. Thanks, Marge. Seriously.
Madge.
You are the gift that keeps on giving. We love it. I really appreciate it. So we'll talk all about that. Honestly, that's just fun. There's really nothing happening in the news today. We're just going to have fun with that one. I waited so long.
Nice.
So long to see that. The games we have to play, we have to pretend to like these people. Hi, Representative Green. Oh, love your hair. Love your white coat. Love your giant white parka when you're screaming at Biden like an idiot. Oh, love that. It's awesome. I love being represented by like a divorced blonde mom. Like, this is great. Anyway, so we'll get into it. Before we do, I want to remind you to smash the follow button, like button, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the show. Get your merch, Fuentes.store. We have credit cards now. We got the hats. We got the shirts.
I gotta get me one of those hats,
if you want to subscribe and become a Plus member, $15 a month, to get access to the whole archive of the show, $100 a month, you get access to a group chat with me. Yeah, like I said, not too much happening in the news. It tends to slow down around the holidays. I will say, though, some very ominous developments in the Middle East. And I probably should have done at least one show before the holiday, but I'm sure I'll get to it next week. Two very ominous developments, which is one, ongoing crisis in Lebanon. About a year ago exactly, Israel strategically defeated Hezbollah with their series of pager and radio attacks, followed by waves of airstrikes and ground operations. They say that Hezbollah has been reconstituting itself, rearming itself.
Of course they say that.
And Washington have applied pressure to the Lebanese government, the actual government, to finish the job for them. They want to compel the Lebanese civilian government and the Lebanese military, the standing army, to disarm Hezbollah. Because Hezbollah is the largest or most well-equipped non-state military in the world, at least they were up until about a year ago. Israel and Washington are pressing the advantage, telling Lebanon you need to make it illegal for Hezbollah to be armed to the teeth like this. You need to disarm them. Lebanese government has been dragging their feet. They won't do it. They don't want to confront Hezbollah. Hezbollah is protecting Lebanon. And so it has just been authorized, apparently. The United States has authorized Israel to take matters into their own hands and to demilitarize Hezbollah themselves. So we might see some major operations in Lebanon very soon. Israel claims to have killed the leader of Hezbollah in strikes recently. They've been bombing Lebanon. The other development is that Israel, for the second night in a row, has been running what appear to be military drills inside of Iraq along the Iraq-Iran border. And they're not firing projectiles, they're not launching anything, but the Israeli Air Force has been flying what appear to be these military drills along the Iraqi border, seemingly to simulate potentially new strikes against Iran. And I've been telling you all year, I really believe that we have not seen the end of that. There was a piece in Foreign Policy magazine at the end of the summer. It said the timeline for a renewed Israeli offensive against Iran is probably going to come this fall that we're in right now. And the reason being is because the Israelis will upset the president if they renew airstrikes against Iran during the midterms. That will hurt Trump politically. They won't have as much leverage. It will upset him. So if they want to make a move against Iran before 2027, after the midterms are finished and the new Congress is seated, then they're going to have to do it now. They're going to have to do it in the fall. They're going to have to do it maybe before the end of the year. And so we are really at a high level of alert for a potential surprise attack by Israel against Iran. Now, at the same time, it could be the case that Israel is merely doing these things either A, to give Iran the impression that an attack is imminent, so they may negotiate, or more likely, option B, they are doing these things to provoke Iran into striking first. Because whoever launches the first strike will have the advantage. And the thing about Iran, its capabilities are its missiles. Its missile launch platforms, underground missile making facilities. These are stationary targets. Israel knows where they are. And so if Israel launches the first strike, they will take out the comms, they will take out the radar, they will go in heavy and hard, they will destroy the ground-based missiles that Iran has been rebuilding. And so that means the missiles are use them or lose them. You either use them or you'll lose them in airstrikes against Israel. And if Israel has that first mover advantage, they could make it so that Iran cannot scramble its air force to defend Iran, and Israel's going to get, they're going to get a free shot. And so this time around, there has been some speculation that maybe Iran will strike first. If they feel that an Israeli preemptive strike is imminent, then Iran might preempt the preemptive strike. They might hit Israel first because they're going to lose the missiles anyway. So is that why they're flying these very obvious drills? Who knows? But so things are heating up again in the Middle East. And so it's just something to keep an eye on. Like I said, I wish I had spent a little more time on it this week, but who knows? We might see something interesting. Timing might be Thanksgiving for that to happen. I don't know that for a fact, but we'll see. Maybe we'll talk about it next week. But that's really the only other major thing that's happening. We covered the war in Ukraine yesterday. What's really funny, just briefly on this, then I promise we're going to get on into the news. So we covered the Ukraine negotiations last night, and we read through the 28-point plan by Trump, and we read through the latest on whether Ukraine is going to accept this new deal being pushed by Trump. And we talked about the dynamics of the conflict. And there was so much optimism about the deal. If you read the papers yesterday or the day before, they said, this is the one. It's being received well by Russia, and Ukraine and Washington are almost on the same page. They're just ironing out these final details. And then we get a statement today from the Russian Foreign Ministry, and they totally poured cold water all over this. The Russian Foreign Ministry, maybe a spokesperson for the Kremlin, came out today and said, we don't even have it. We don't have the proposal, and we've seen what's in it. They say, and whatever's in there, it's going to require a lot of consideration, and there's items in there that they don't like.
Damn.
So this happens over and over again. I've witnessed it with Gaza. I've witnessed it with Ukraine. If you watch the show, you know that you can't just read the headlines, because the headlines will tell you every week and every month, peace is almost about to break out. They're going to have a summit. They're going to have a meeting. They finally agreed. And it never happens. And that happens in Gaza. It happens in Ukraine. And so I think I saw it early this morning. They came out and said, yeah, there's no deal. There's nothing like a deal at all. So Zelensky's blowing right past the deadline, doesn't even agree with the whole plan. The Russians haven't seen it. They apparently don't even like it.
If we're so powerful, why can't we get these vassal states in line?
Not within range yet. But anyway, that's just a little news update on some of these other things. I do want to get into the Marjorie Greene meltdown because it's so amazing. And I'll just briefly read through it because it's so good. But first, we'll give you some background here. We covered this last week. On Friday, Marjorie Greene surprised the whole country. She goes on Twitter and she releases a video statement with a written transcription, and she announces that she is resigning from Congress, which is a huge surprise because she's very popular in her district. She's a national figure. She's a big fundraiser.
Coming off a huge win.
I think her seat is probably safe. If she were to seek re-election, she would most likely win. The timing was interesting. She is now in an open and very public and very severe feud with the president, and this is concerning the Epstein files, among other things. Marjorie, over the past several months, has broken with the president on a few issues, on his attack against Iran, on the H-1B visas, and other statements about immigration, on the government shutdown, and most recently on the release of the Epstein files. And of course, what happened last week is that this feud went hot. Trump called out Marjorie directly on Truth Social, viciously, wrote like 3 paragraphs about her, ripping her to shreds. He officially unendorsed her, withdrew his support, and said that he would actually endorse a primary candidate against Marjorie in her next election in her district. So they're in open war now. What happened days after that is that Marjorie got the better of Trump, because she, with Lauren Boebert, Nancy Mace, and Thomas Massie, worked with the Democrats on a discharge petition to force the House to vote on the Epstein file bill. It passed almost unanimously in the House. It passed unanimously in the Senate, and it's headed to the president's desk for a signature. And it was just days after this that Marjorie resigns. And so naturally, everybody started to speculate, are these things related? And I'm sure they were. Of course they were. People said maybe she's not confident she could win re-election if Trump is pushing a primary challenger. People said maybe she wants to run for president and she doesn't want to get bruised up in a really contentious primary where they're going to run attack ads and they're going to go looking for skeletons in her closet and things like that. I said it's probably more likely that she backed off because she was threatened. Maybe she got death threats. Maybe she got blackmailed. Who knows? But clearly the timing was
she got
relevant
the call
there. Trump attacks her on a Sunday. The bill passes on a Tuesday. She resigns on a Friday. Boom, boom, boom. Obviously, these things are connected. And a lot of people were very optimistic about it, though. They said, well, she's just going to run for president. They said she's seeking higher office. She's going to run for president. Her odds in Polymarket just went up to 6%. She's now in third place, a distant third. And I said last week, that really doesn't make any sense because if you're going to run for president in a presidential primary, you want to do it as a sitting office holder. You want to run as the congresswoman, not the former congresswoman. And if you want to get people excited about a presidential run, then you want your donors to be enthusiastic. You want them to be committed. You don't want to pull out a year before it's just about a year before the primary would begin. It doesn't really send the right message. So she does all this, and then she comes out a couple of days later, and she says, I am not running for president at all. She addresses that rumor and says, nope, I'm not running for president. And she releases this really stinking statement. This was a few days ago. She comes out with a statement, and she says, contrary to this rumor being peddled by Time magazine, I'm not running for president. And she launches into this really ugly rant where she says, why would I run for president? You can't change anything. The system's rigged. She had a really shitty paragraph in there. She goes, why would I go around the country begging for money, sacrificing my health, and having no social life, only to arrive in Washington and not be able to change anything? That's an actual quote from her tweet. She says, why would I go around begging people for money, ruining my health, and not having a personal life? A personal life?
Maybe. Possibly.
You're a congresswoman. What do you mean your personal life?
Yeah, what the fuck?
You don't want to run for president and save the country because then you couldn't check out hot new restaurants in Arlington, Virginia? What are you talking about?
What a fucking vapid, worldly person.
You're a representative in the United States Congress.
That's like the noblest thing you could be doing.
What does that mean? You're not going to get your 8 hours? So this is my problem with a lot of these people. They're really just not in it to win it.
They're not. Not serious
That's what
at all.
that tells us.
If somebody even
thinks that in their mind, let alone says it out loud in public, what does that tell you about who that person is? This is a person that goes to rallies and goes to political events and goes to Congress. And she's a crusader, a fighter, a revolutionary. We're fighting for women. We're fighting for America. And then she writes a statement like that. This pissy, bitter, resentful statement where she says, why would I run for president? You can't change anything, and I'm going to sacrifice my personal life. Your personal life? How could you even think that?
Yeah.
How could you even think that in your head? I don't have a personal life, and I'm a live streamer. I haven't had a personal life for 10 years, since I was 18 years old in college, and I'm a live streamer because that's the program. When you're in politics, and moreover, when you're in dissident politics, when you're a revolutionary, no, you don't get a personal life at all. You're lucky if you get a family.
You really don't.
And even if you do, you don't get to see them all the time. You are committed to the nation. You are committed to the cause. You sort of give yourself to the cause. You, in a way, almost lose your humanity. You identify with the cause. You become the cause. That's what is entailed in all of that. Otherwise, you shouldn't be in politics. Because then you either become a grifter, and you're not really there to make change. You're not really there to shake things up. It's another job. You're getting paid. You do a job. You're told what to do. It's like a job. Or you're enforcer of the status quo, in which case you're like a security guard. You're like a police officer. There's not really a ton of risk involved in that. You're in an oversight capacity. You're kind of keeping things, you're keeping an eye on things, drinking your coffee, hanging out. If you are a revolutionary, if you're fighting for America, it's a full-time job. That is a full-time, around the clock. There is no, You know, the grind does not stop. She
Holy
goes,
shit.
I'm not going to have
Cenk
a personal
Uygur
life. Like I said, to think that in your
replied
mind.
to one of my
What about
messages
my
on
diet?
on
What about
Twitter. What the
what
fuck?
about my social life? Then to
Wow.
say that without any
the blue check mark and,
conscientiousness of how that comes across
everything.
or how that
Holy
sounds,
shit.
that really shows you what kind of person she is. I'm not going to have a social life, seriously? Grow up. What are you, 50? You got grown kids. You're in your second marriage or whatever that is. You're 50, you're in Congress, you're a trust fund kid. Your personal life, grow up. This is what she says. This was a few days ago. So for all those people that thought she was running for president, no, she's not, because it's too hard. And what about her health and her social life? And you can't change anything. Why bother, she says. Today, she comes out with a new statement. Get a load of this. So Mike Cernovich replies to her on Twitter, and he says, I'm going to read it exactly. He says, you need to serve out your full term. You need to serve out your full term. That's it. And by the way, I agree with that. You run for office, you need to serve out your term. Unless you're dying, unless there is some debilitating scandal that makes it impossible for you to continue your work, you really need to finish what you started. You don't need to run forever. You don't need to be a career politician, but you need to finish what you started. And by the way, for the House, it's only 2 years. That's not even a long time. President's 4, Senate is 6, Supreme Court is for life. 2 years? You can't do 2 years? She's only been there since 2020. She's been in there for 5. You can do it for another year. She replies to Mike Cernovich's tweet. I'm going to read it for you. This is what she says. So Cerno says, you need to serve out your full term. This is her reply. She quote tweets and says, oh, I haven't suffered enough for you while you post all day behind a screen? Do I have to stay until I'm assassinated like our friend Charlie Kirk? Will that be good enough for you then? Shit posting on the internet all day isn't fighting. Get off your ass and run for Congress. I fought harder than anyone in the real arena, not social media. Put down your little pebbles and put your money where your mouth is. Really? So what's the pitch with a person like this? Vote for me. I'm going to run for office. I'm going to be in Congress. I'm going to fight for Trump. I'm going to fight for America first. Oh, it got a little bit hard. Well, why don't you do it?
Yo, what's going on,
What is this
Downey?
attitude? What is this?
How you doing, man?
Where's this coming from? Then she doubles down. She quote tweets that. It gets better. She quote tweets her first tweet from her other account, her official congressional account. And
she totally
and then
crashed
it
out.
gets so much better.
Miss
She
Green.
writes, typical of Republican men telling a woman to shut up, get back in the kitchen, and fix me something to eat.
Get the fuck out of here. Typical
Is that what he said?
feminine thing to say.
Is that what he was saying? You're quitting. You ran for Congress. You said you would fix things. And now you're quitting a year in for no good reason because it got
It's
hard.
not like he told her to
Somebody
stop.
says, hey, you should
get
really
out of
finish what you
politics.
started. And now she says, you're telling a woman to get back in the kitchen and fix me dinner? What? Is that what he said? What are you talking about? What is that? And where is that coming from now? What, do you hate men now? Typical of Republican men.
What the fuck?
Are you kidding? It would be bad enough if she said typical
What up,
of
Mr.
men.
Balls?
Typical of Republican men? Hey, bitch, you're a
Number 2.
Republican. Who do you think voted for you? What are you talking about? Typical of Republican men. You're a
Yeah.
Republican. You have ran as a Republican and won as a Republican in 2020, 2022, 2024. Who do you think voted for you?
Right, though?
That's who you're
Men
attacking?
voted for
You're
her.
going to generalize all Republican men?
Those were the guys
Typical
that
of
put you
Republican
there.
men to be what? Traditional? First of all, he didn't even say that. He said the opposite. He said, okay, you want to run for Congress and be a politician? Be a politician then.
Follow
Finish your
through.
term. She says it's sexist. We're telling her to get in the kitchen. How does that even? It's literally the opposite.
Nobody forced her to do
Wouldn't
it.
it be a typical chauvinist to say you should resign and get in the kitchen? Not you shouldn't resign. You need to stay in Congress and finish your job?
Right? Do the honorable
So
thing.
what is typical then for us to tell you not to quit? For us to tell you to finish what you started, fulfill your obligations and your responsibilities? So what, we can't tell women what to do?
I think it started...
Better yet, we can't tell our congresswomen what to do. A congresswoman is under no obligation to finish her term if she doesn't want to.
Started
and
like
if you
20
expect her
minutes
to,
ago, I
you're
think.
a typical sexist pig. That's just like...
That's when I started streaming.
Like a delusional,
I started
hateful,
streaming as soon as it started.
Sick thing to say. This is a person that's not right in the head. For a politician to say that, messed up. And you know what I'm getting? You know what I'm really detecting there? It could be that she's resentful of Trump. You know, Trump really did rug pull her. He really betrayed her. Maybe she's mad at him. She's taking it out on other Republican men.
I didn't like how Trump handled it either.
But you know what that sounds like to me? She went on The View and got a warm reception from Whoopi Goldberg and from the women of The View, a very liberal show. And when she started talking about the Epstein files, a lot of liberals that fucking hated her guts a few years ago started to say, why am I agreeing with Marjorie? Why am I agreeing with Marjorie? She seems okay. And you almost have to wonder if Marjorie is looking around and at her new friends and thinking to herself, what am I doing wasting my time being a Republican in Congress? I've been attacked and ridiculed and mocked as a loony hillbilly, as a loony, knuckle-dragging hillbilly Republican for the last 5 years.
That goes with the territory.
Why am I doing this? Just to be attacked by Trump? Just, you know, for things to, bad things to happen to me? So that almost sounds like there is like a feminist trying to break out here. This is like a serious girl boss syndrome. This is like a girl boss, and really like a liberal contagion. She went on The View and said, oh, I like this. I'm on The View. These women, these liberal women,
they're empathizing
all conservative
with me.
women want to be famous. They want to be liberal women, but the liberal women hate them. So they reluctantly have to
in her political
push the screws, turn the screws on the liberal women. She goes on the show and says, oh, I like how this feels. They're agreeing with me. On The View, this is such a big talk show. They all want to be Oprah. They all want to do daytime TV. Now her problem is with Republican men, sexism. Get back in the kitchen, she says. Really?
Those are your constituents, Marge.
What a joke. She goes on. So she says, typical of Republican men telling a woman to shut up, get back in the kitchen, fix me something to eat. Imagine.
That's so bigoted to men.
You're a Christian, you're a conservative. Imagine the audacity of a man to tell his wife, make me dinner. I know.
All day, Downey, hell
Women
yeah.
should not be expected to do anything. They should not be expected to make dinner, or they should not be expected to finish their term in Congress. Like, yeah, there's no expectations.
To expect a woman to do what she says she's going to do is misogynist,
in the sweetest,
apparently.
most southern drawl I can enunciate. Oh, women love to do it. They love to do that. She goes on, I have been trying to tell all you men that are... Love it. I have been trying to tell all you men that our kitchen pantry is empty with spider webs. Our house has been ransacked. The windows and doors are broken and busted. And the greedy rich bastards have twisted your minds into a sick state that you all continue in the two-party toxic political system that acts like college football playoffs, yet is burying you and your children and their children and their children in a pine box in a shallow grave. Get off your ass and fix your own damn food and clean up the kitchen when you're done.
You know, she acts like we didn't know this stuff already. That's the reason why people voted for her.
And then all of the indignant women of America got up and clapped. They don't even know what they're clapping for. It's a totally inane, idiotic rant that doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't do anybody any good.
You're a fucking congresswoman, retard. You're telling us about the bastards in power and the wars? Hey, retard, you're in Congress.
Well, that's what we put you there for.
Do something about it. Nobody made you run. You raised millions of dollars. You got famous. You have millions of followers on social media. You are loaded. You're a trust fund girl. You inherited millions of dollars. You inherited a construction company. And then you asked everybody to vote for you because you would represent us and fix it. And now that people are asking you respectfully to
going
finish
gets
out your
tough,
term, you turn it around and say, what about the corruption?
Buckles.
I don't know. You tell me. You ran for office. You raised the money. You got rich. What's your net worth now? What was it 5 years ago?
And she got her retirement bonus.
Now you're going to come and tell us after you collect your pension?
Yeah.
Oh, now we got to, and if we don't, what, we're sexist pigs? Get off your ass. What, if we expect you to do your job? I don't know how you come back from something like this. I see this statement, I say goodbye.
It's almost like she's burning her bridges.
You stupid bitch. And honestly, I'm obviously, I have a feud with Marjorie. I don't like her. I think she's dishonest. I think she's a sellout. I think she's a piece of shit. I think that she is so caught up in the glamour, the outfits, the black cars, the life, the view. This is what she's about, obviously. She's a complete degenerate. She had her husband, cheated on her husband with some bodybuilder.
That's gross.
Then she gets some new guy. She's got kids. She's in Congress LARPing as some kind of truth teller. Then she sells out to Kevin McCarthy. She doesn't know what she's doing. So I've had a problem with her for many years. I never thought she was that intelligent. I don't think her heart's in the right place. I don't think she belongs there. And so I'm enjoying it partially because she's just showing us who she really is. She doesn't have the guts. She doesn't have the spirit for this. 5 years, that's really nothing. And a lot of people have had a much harder go at it than her. I mean, this is just disrespectful to everybody that's actually put in the work.
It makes us look bad because you got
and especially Donald Trump himself.
And these other halfwits on the Dem side.
Whatever you want. And I've said a lot about him, and I have my criticisms, and I'm firmly in opposition at this point. That being said, this man has been fighting a battle for 10 years. And look at what he's been up against. Look at the personal treachery. He gets accused of rape.
Dude, they were going to put his ass in prison.
Smears against him. They say that he's giving golden showers on Obama's bed. Stormy Daniels are talking about the shape of his penis.
That's gross, man.
They're attacking his family. They're attacking his daughter. They're attacking his son, his wife. Probably destroyed his marriage. That's what it looks like. Destroyed his marriage. Attacked his reputation, his family, his business. Then, the way they undermine him relentlessly, his crowd sizes, his appearance, his mental faculties, every time he flubs a sentence or a word, every time he trips. The impeachments, the federal charges, the charges in New York and Georgia, they tried to put this guy in jail for the rest of his life. Then they shot him. Then they fucking shot him in the fucking head.
Yeah.
And he still fought through and became the president again. In good times and bad times, when it felt inevitable, when it felt hopeless.
Yeah, that's one thing you got to give to Trump.
In a similar way, has sold out to the establishment. He's made compromises, but there's something to be said, in spite of that, about the personal aspect.
Yeah,
there are personal virtues embodied there. The perseverance.
Yeah,
the
endurance,
stick-to-itiveness, the courage. That's admirable, actually, to be at the arena at the highest level, to take the blows and the punches
it's hard to have the stamina to cook a Thanksgiving turkey.
Like I said, whatever it throws at you in calm waters and in the storm, that's Trump. So for this person then to go on Twitter and talk about boo-hoo, Charlie Kirk, and what about me, and it's so frustrating. Are you kidding me? I think about guys like Jared Taylor. And I don't know that me and Jared are each other's biggest fans lately, but I'll always admire him because this is a guy that for 35 years, since 1992, and I don't say this to glaze him. We have like some pretty severe disagreements right now, I guess. But this is a guy that has been meeting in small venues for 35 years, pushing the same message to a small crowd in the hopes that someday someone will hear the message.
And get the message.
And this guy, he started when he was an adult. He's only gotten older.
Naturally.
This is not a backhanded compliment, by the way, but this is to say he never made millions of dollars. He never became a national figure. He never became famous. or got to sit in Congress or got to be on the news or got that kind of a platform. He never had a platform of 1 million followers. And yet he wakes up and he carries a gun when he goes to take the trash out because Antifa wants to fucking kill this guy.
Oh, shit.
And probably that impacted his personal life, family. So I think of guys like this. I think about even guys like Andrew Anglin. I hate Andrew Anglin at this point. I think he's a jealous little cocksucker.
Yeah.
But him too, very gifted, very brilliant, probably one of these unrecognized geniuses. That's why he's so resentful. But he's another one. He can't even live in America, allegedly. And so I think about all the people I've known over the years. I'm not even going to insinuate myself, but I think about all the people I've known over the years, even people I don't like, even people I don't agree with, even people that hate my guts. And I say, how fucking dare you? You go on Twitter, you've been in it for 5 years, you're rich, you've gotten rich off of this, you're famous, you got famous off of this, you're a national figure, you have a platform, you have the ability to make change.
Right.
And the going gets a little tough. You haven't even been at it for that long. And you go on Twitter and start bitching? Oh, we can't fix anything. You run for Congress. What do you want me to get shot? And and then you go and turn the blame around on the people that voted for you, Republican men. That's who voted for you, dumbass. Who do you think is your staff? It's Republican men. Who's Isaac? That's a Republican man. Your staff is Republican men. Your voters are Republican men. Your colleagues, your donors are Republican men. You turn around and you spit on them? Because it got hard, you're blaming them? Blame yourself. You should have never gotten involved in this. You don't have what it takes. You are a loser. Disgusting. And on a personal level, I'm disgusted. We could have our political disagreements. People disagree about strategy, about ideology, and it happens. But this is such a lack of character. But you know what? You can't even really hold it against her, because this is the farce of women in politics. You can't even blame her. It's like getting mad at your dog because he's not going to put on clothes every day. It's not in their nature.
Yeah, it really is.
We're going to get mad at Marjorie Greene. Why? Because she's not a leader, because she's not decisive, because she doesn't have gumption, she doesn't have fucking guts, she doesn't have balls. Well, she's a woman. Of course she doesn't have balls.
Yeah.
She's not strong. And women like to say women are the strongest. Okay,
that's kind of why
certain
they should
respects,
stay
but
out
not
of
like this. Not
politics.
In this situation. Women are not made to get shot. Women are not made to go and get thrown into battle and have bullets whizzing past their head, which is what you're kind of in for in politics.
We're not in the period, the sort of period where women can be in politics. It's getting too serious.
I kept doing the show. I came back a few weeks later. Hey, guys, I think I did a Christmas show the following week. I said, hey, guys, yeah, someone tried to kill me. Pretty fucked up. You move on. That's
and that guy
what
really
it is.
did try to kill him. See that video with the dude on his porch? This is the folly and the farce of women
in politics.
That's crazy.
What it takes in politics is vision, leadership, long-term planning, abstract thinking, all
Principles.
these things, that emotional control, discipline, always that women just lack. And people don't like to hear it that way because they like to say, well, I know a woman that's pretty strong. My wife is strong. My wife birthed 6 children. That's strength. Okay, but that's not running in Congress. That's a completely different thing.
Yeah.
And so on some level, you just have to look at her in some ways as a victim. And we as the men have to ask ourselves, are we going to keep subjecting ourselves to this? Are we going to keep empowering these overgrown fucking children to be in politics? She's going to be in Congress and we're going to tell ourselves that, this is really progressive and, this is a feminist idea that we're going to have a woman in Congress. It's going to be telling everybody what to do and have an all-male staff. And she's going to run for president. Though. Don't make me laugh. Women should never be the fucking president.
They don't make any waves, or they get too scared after they do make the waves.
But, this is where we are. This is where we are with our girl dads and wife guys in Congress. This is where you got Tucker Carlson motherfucking me on the show. Why are you attacking Marjorie? Happy wife, happy life. Listen, girl dad.
That was gross.
Listen, girl dad, wife guy, boomer, whatever your name is. This is why we don't have women in politics, because when When the going gets tough, it's not a movie. It ain't a movie. This is not the Avengers. This is not a Disney movie about a badass chick that learned karate and is kicking dudes in the head.
No, they're really scared little girls.
This is not a Hollywood movie where the female mayor slams her fist on the desk and fights corruption and leads the nation away from cynicism and racism and hatred. This is not the Batman. Okay, this is real life. That does not exist. That is a character in a movie that you have seen. It is not real. That does not happen. Take a look around the world. Where do you see that? Putin, Zelensky, Macron, Trump. It's guys. It's dudes.
Well, Maloney.
So it's our fault that we enable this and we empower this. She should not be in Congress. And I'm not saying this because I hate women. I don't hate women. I'm not saying this because I believe women can't do anything, but this is not the domain of women.
And if it is,
politics
if they can do politics right now, it just isn't a good time.
Who do you think the politicians used to be?
People are being killed.
Generals, warlords, fighters. And what defines the sovereign? It's the ability to take life. It's the ability to command your subjects to kill and be killed for the sake of the realm. That's what it means to be a sovereign. That's what it means to
take
be the president.
Those slings and
the
arrows
president
as
is
well.
Commander-in-Chief of the armed forces. And so if you're going to tell people to kill and be killed on your behalf as a leader of the country, you have to actually need to be a soldier or eligible to be a soldier.
Or at least be willing to take the withering
and we all know why women can't be
criticisms.
soldiers. They're not physically strong. They have their period. It makes them not able to go and extended missions and fight battles. And people might say, well, you're skinny, you're a weakling. Okay, but if necessary, any man would do what it takes to survive. That's what a man has to do. And that's what you do in politics. That's what you do as a leader of a country. That's what you do as a lawmaker. And so the idea that we would entertain that, it's our fault. She goes and says Republican men. And by the way, you know what's so funny? Here's the delicious irony in all of it. It was Republican men that voted for her. Republican men that gave her money to run. Her dad is a Republican man that gave her her trust fund. Republican men that solve all the problems in her office, her legislative director, comms director. These are Republican men. And what's funny is all these Republican men said, we're going to support this woman. I don't care if a woman is going to be my boss. I'm going to vote for a woman. I'm going to work for a woman. I'm going to give money for a woman to run for office. And they all saw nothing wrong with that. They all thought that was a great idea. They all said, I don't care. This is fine. This is really a feminist idea. It's kind of anachronistic. This should not exist if you're actually patriarchal.
Yeah.
And what does she do? Does she reward those progressive, simpy Republican men that supported her? No. Does she look at the Republican men that believe in her enough? They want her to finish her term?
Michelle Obama wonders why we won't vote for a woman president. This is why.
She blames the men that put her in a position of responsibility. You put a woman in charge as a man, she fails, crashes out, cries, turns around and blames the man that put her in the position of responsibility.
And that's why we don't
pick them for president. Do the men get a thank you, gratitude? Do they get rewarded?
Our fault anyway.
Are they noble for being so progressive? No, they're fucking stupid. And that is why they are now being disavowed. That is why Marjorie is now turning on all the Republican men that supported her and saying, typical Republican man, you should just run for Congress. Isn't that why they're all working for you, voting for you, donating to you so that you could do it, you fucking idiot? Of course not. But this is what women do. No accountability. And it shouldn't be that way. They shouldn't be accountable. They shouldn't be really accountable.
Think about it. Even Kamala Harris blames us for her loss.
And that's it. Because the rest, it doesn't
It's not
matter.
Because she's a poor candidate. It's because we're misogynistic.
For the decision to hook up with men with no intention of bringing children into the world, or hooking up with horrible men and bringing future criminals into the world. That's what they should be held accountable for, because that is their obligation. Their obligation is to select the future of the species, and that's it, and it stops there. And then they're the homemakers. They raise the children, so they make up the home, they feed the children, and this is what they do.
And they're good at it.
So, they're not accountable, they'll never be accountable, and they shouldn't be. They're accountable for one thing, and that is
kids.
Sex. Period. End of story. It's how it should be. Now you know why. QED, end of discussion. So I saw that. I said, wow, amazing. It's really amazing. Because I had my beef with her. And like I said, I've had people kind of on my ass about this. Tucker said, why do you attack Marjorie? She's a sincere fighter, bro. She's a fucking woman.
Yeah.
Did you forget? Or what are you?
She's a
are you a woman too?
woman.
Or you're an enabler? You're a wife guy? You're a girl dad? I mean, really, Milo is working for her.
Happy wife, happy life.
Milo, and it's so funny. Milo Yiannopoulos, the Jewish pedophile, worked for Marjorie Greene, and they were like this, and it's so typical. It's all these disgustingly attention-hungry and power-hungry women, and they get together with the faggots. Like moth to a flame. Like, it doesn't matter how Republican, how conservative. Ann Coulter, fag hag. Ann Coulter and Ryan Gerdusky, moth to a flame. Marjorie Greene and Milo, moth to a flame. Candace Owens and Milo, moth to a flame.
Really?
Doesn't matter how based, how Catholic, whatever.
Women love gay men.
Power hungry.
They surely do.
Women, typically whores, and the fags, fag hags and the fags. And so Milo is so far up Marjorie's ass, and Milo is supposed to be based. He's supposed to be based, tradcath, blah, blah, blah. Tucker's supposed to be based, whatever, have more kids than you can afford.
They're not.
And that.
They're liberal.
And they're both glazing this woman politician. Girl power, they say. Girl power. Girl
and
power, Candace.
Totally
girl power, Marjorie. And am I the only one over here that's saying, like,
morons.
no, less of this? Candace Owens, be with your kids.
Yeah.
Your kids want your attention. Like,
save that for your kids.
Could you imagine Candace Owens' kids, what they're thinking right now? Mommy is over there in the office, and like the wallpaper's been ripped off the walls. It's just yarn everywhere, pinned up to the wall. Pictures of trannies, pictures of Brigitte Macron's penis, pictures of Emmanuel Macron, pictures of the Sanford prison experiment.
Shit.
Could you imagine, like, the empty bottles of wine? Could you imagine, for a moment, the printer paper everywhere? Could you imagine things pinned up all over the wall? Eventually, she's probably just smearing the wall with paint or blood or something, scrawling things on the wall. And Brigitte Macron did this. Brigitte Macron. Well, I'm Brigitte Macron. Like, she's writing it in crayon or marker on the walls. Brigitte Macron killed everybody. Brigitte Macron started the war in Iran. And could you imagine what the kids are like? Mommy, I'm hungry. The kids are knocking on the door.
He's having a good old time.
Why are you yelling? Why are you screaming? Is everything
okay? Are you
okay,
Mommy?
It's like, dude, this is abuse. This is wife abuse. I am going to turn out to be the #1 crusader for women's health and women's well-being, because what these men are doing to these women is abuse. Putting your wife in Congress is abuse. She's going to, bad things are going to happen to her. This is abuse. She can't handle it. Putting your wife on YouTube with 1 million followers and saying, hey, go nuts. Not a good idea. Dude, her husband should be put in jail. Could you imagine if this was your wife going live every day, bobbing her head and saying, yeah. So then I told the president of France, I know you were an MK Ultra victim. Like, and what is he? He's leaning up against the wall with his arms folded. Like, that's why I married this woman. You go get him, Candace. You tell the Illuminist, Frankist conspiracy what's up. God help us. God correct these people.
Please.
What is this? What are we doing to our wives? What are we doing to our families? Candace is going live every day, bobbing her head, deputizing her followers. God knows that's going to end well.
Right.
We're the intelligence agency. Everyone was wearing maroon. They're wearing maroon. The yellow plane went this way. The blue plane went that way. And everyone was wearing maroon. And they all have a bee keychain on their backpacks. And the husband's got to be sitting there. What is your obligation to this person? At a certain point, don't you have an obligation to intervene here?
Kinda. She's going off the deep end.
I don't know what we're doing with these people. But the point is, yet again, Tucker and all these other people, they want to cast me as and look, I don't tell people to follow my lead. You should be getting married. You should be doing the things you do. I'm eccentric. I'm a genius. I'm married to the mission. But they're all trying to paint me as like, oh, he's this like, dysfunctional male. He has this hatred of women.
He's an incel.
And, real conservatives, no, they're wife guys. Real conservatives say happy wife, happy life. They bow down. And it's like, I'm right. These people that are telling us it's okay to have women in politics, they're just wrong. And this is the evidence. Like, they crack up. They can't handle it. This is the issue. Case in point, emotional crash out. Charlie Kirk got shot and all these bitches went insane.
Yeah.
Like, that's really just what it is. All these bitches went crazy.
All the women did.
And look, I don't blame them. Like, honestly, Candace Owens would be much happier if she were just a mom. I think we would honestly get along. But she's trying to play dress up.
She would
and same
rather
with
be a
Marjorie
mom.
Greene. Marjorie would be the sweetest. Maybe she'd be sweet and nice. Maybe she's got something in her, that makes her this way. But they'd probably be much happier if their husbands were tougher. But this is how it goes every single time. So anyway, that's Marjorie Greene. She goes on Twitter. She says, yeah, typical Republican man. Oh my gosh. You scratch a conservative woman, you get a feminist. I don't care how Republican, how conservative, how base they are. You scratch any Republican woman, you get a feminist. You get a raging feminist bitch. That's exactly what this is. How could she write such a thing? She says, get off your ass and fix your own damn dinner and clean up the kitchen when you're done.
America's
we're
gonna
not
fall.
married, idiot. What do you are you mad at your boyfriend right now? What are you talking about? Fix your own dinner. If that's not resentment, I don't even know what is. Fix your own damn dinner. And people said I was ridiculous for telling Candace to make me a sandwich. These bitches write a book called Make Me a Sandwich. You tell them, hey, make me some dinner, and they crash out. Totally insane. Anyway, so that's Marjorie Greene. Love the statement, and it's truly a gift. Like I said, because I look like a jerk when I talk about this stuff, but then a woman makes an example like this, and you say, okay, there it is. And there it is. That just goes to show. And people say, no, you got to find the right woman. Dude, she was the right woman for some dude at some point. She was conservative, family-oriented, whatever. They're all like this. They're all like this. It's just a question of how much you can suppress it. They're all like this. It's just a question of how much
they're in
can you
the
suppress this
natural
instinct
American
that women have to go out
culture.
and pretend to be men. Because on some level, they're very manipulatable, and the society is promoting this, and women get these ideas in their head, and they want to go and be a politician. They want to go and be a YouTuber. They want to go and do these things, and it's your job to tell them no. It's society's job to say no. It's a different domain. This is a domain for men. This is why. So anyway, that's that. I do want to move on. I want to get into the National Guard shooting. I know we should probably talk about the bigger news tonight, which is the shooting.
Yeah.
And our featured story, I'm sure you've heard about it. There was a terrorist attack in Washington, D.C. An Afghan national targeted, ambushed, and shot 2 National Guardsmen about a mile away from the White House. He was identified as a 29-year-old, basically an Afghan refugee. They claim he shouted Allahu Akbar when he did the shooting. And this is a story from the New York Times. It says, quote, the suspect accused of critically wounding 2 National Guard members in a shooting near the White House entered the country in 2021 through a refugee program for people fleeing from Afghanistan. Local officials said the suspect, who was injured after opening fire in a busy tourist area, appeared to have acted alone, targeting members of the West Virginia National Guard. The suspect was identified as Ramanullah Lakanwal, age 29. He came to the United States through a program known as Operation Allies Welcome, which provided entry to Afghan nationals fleeing the Taliban takeover of their country after the withdrawal of U.S. troops under President Joe Biden. President Trump in Florida on Wednesday said on social media that the gunman would pay a very steep price. He also ordered a deployment of 500 additional troops to Washington to supplement the more than 2,000 already on the ground. Also said we need to review everybody that's here on a visa, if that's worth anything. Now, about this story, it's like I said at the top of the show. So this 29-year-old Afghan shoots 2 National Guardsmen. And people are going to read the name, which is Ramanullah Lakanwal, and they're going to hear the national origin, Afghanistan. They're going to hear about how he arrived here ostensibly as a refugee.
They're not going to be happy.
Ostensibly, apparently. And everyone's going to draw some conclusions about who this guy is. They're going to say this is a fanatical Muslim from a Muslim country that we went to war with. We went to war, we bombed them, we engendered hatred, then we brought them here. They hate us, and now they're killing us. He was motivated by his radical, fanatical religion, ideology. He shouted Allahu Akbar, killed Americans, and what we see is what we get. And that's one way to look at it. Maybe that's the case, because all that is true. He is effectively a refugee from Afghanistan, probably is a fanatical Muslim, or could be. Could be. It's plausible. He shot these Americans. They claim he yelled Allahu Akbar. So maybe he hates America. Maybe he hates what America is doing with Israel and Gaza. Maybe he hates what America did in Afghanistan. Who knows? Maybe it's PTSD. Maybe he, because he was a fighter or was involved with American forces in some way, maybe it's like PTSD. Who knows? But we have to understand exactly what this is. And a lot of people don't know that when the United States conducted its operation in Afghanistan over the last 20 years,
it was on Israel's behalf.
From the local tribes, militias, soldiers. We recruited the locals to help in many different capacities as we were fighting the conflict. As security forces, military forces, as translators, in a number of different roles. And this is why he was brought to America under the program. It's called Allies Welcome. Why is it called Allies Welcome? Because these are not just any refugees. These are not women and children. These are not fleeing refugees, not strictly speaking. Allies Welcome. These are collaborators.
Yeah.
These are collaborationists. These are not Afghans that were with the Taliban or ISIS-K. These are Afghans who were working with the United States military and special forces and probably working with them for many years and living with them and working with them and ostensibly supporting the goals of the American occupation. That's how we got here. Allies Welcome. In 2021, when the Taliban retook control over the country, of course, everybody that was collaborating with the United States is going to be killed. The United States is fighting the Taliban for 20 years. We took power from them. We controlled Afghanistan. When we left, the Taliban filled a void. And actually, we beat a retreat. We were being defeated by the Taliban effectively. The Taliban was taking over anyway. We could not maintain control of the country from a distance or indefinitely. And so everybody working with the United States was going to be probably captured and imprisoned or killed by the Taliban. So we brought all of our collaborators back to the United States because we owe them. We owe these people. Like we owe the Israelis, like we owe the Kurds, like
it's
we
crazy.
Owe all, like
we're
we
helping
owe the Ukrainians.
them with their country.
We owe these people in Afghanistan.
We owe them now.
So they say. So we bring this guy over under Operation Allies Welcome. And again, is this guy a fanatical Muslim?
Right.
It would seem not. On the basis of how he came here. He didn't come here as a refugee. He came here basically as a U.S. mercenary. Big difference.
Yeah.
He didn't come here as a refugee fleeing persecution and violence.
He came here because
in a sense he was.
He was fighting for the money.
Persecution and violence because he was a U.S. government employee. That's why he was being persecuted. That's why he was fleeing. So he's really a U.S. government employee who was extracted from Afghanistan. He would continue living in Afghanistan if a friendly government remained. If we remained, he would still be there. He was extracted from Afghanistan by his patron that he was a client for, by his boss, the United States. That's how he came here. Not an ordinary refugee, not part of mass migration or anything like that. And so this changes how we look at the attack.
Right.
Was this guy some Muslim extremist?
They knew who he was, and they brought him in.
It would seem that would be unlikely because there are many Muslim extremists in Afghanistan. You've got ISIS-K, the Khorasan group. You've got the Taliban. You got the Pakistani and the Afghan Taliban. You've got Balochistan and the separatists over there. You've got a lot of sectarian violence. You've got a lot of ethnic, tribal, religious violence in this region. Afghanistan is really not a real country. It's a hodgepodge of a bunch of different tribes and ethnicities. You've got Turks, you've got Pashtun, you've got a lot of different kinds of people living there. And so it would seem that if this guy was working with the United States, probably he was not a fanatic. Probably he was not a radical Muslim, a Taliban supporter, an ISIS supporter, because he would have been working with the enemy of those groups.
Yeah.
He's a U.S. mercenary. So who is
us.
this guy really? The family says they're surprised because they said he loved the United States. So is this a Muslim refugee that killed Americans for Islamism? Or is this a former U.S. service member who went off for some reason? And it raises some questions. Understanding this, you might wonder, so this is not, Ramanullah, the Taliban member. This is Ramanullah, the government employee. What did they do to this guy?
Yeah.
Who is this guy? It begs the question, did they put him up to this? If he was being handled by the U.S. military, what is their responsibility in all this? Because you do hear about false flags, and you do hear about these kinds of things. And right now, it is true that there's a lot of chaos and violence in the Middle East. It's also true that Israel and the United States have far-reaching geopolitical ambitions there. Israel wants territory in a number of countries. We
want fuel.
Gaza and the West Bank to be absorbed. They want South Lebanon. They want South Syria. They want regime change in Iran. They want operations in Yemen and Syria and Iraq. And the United States wants its air base in Bagram back. That's what the Trump administration said. They said if he were president, we wouldn't have even fully left Afghanistan. We would have kept the base at Bagram. Why? Why is it important for the United States to have a military base in Afghanistan? Does anybody know? A lot of people don't look at a map. A lot of people don't know their geography, and that's the problem. The reason the United States wants a military base in Afghanistan is because Afghanistan shares a border with China.
Yeah.
That's why.
Because it's right there on China's border.
And specifically, Afghanistan borders East Turkestan, which is where all those troublesome Uyghur Muslims are from. And so if you wanted to spy on China, if you wanted a foothold to project power against China in Central Asia, if you wanted to monitor some of the border disputes or things going on, if you wanted to monitor their activities, maybe you wanted to foment chaos in China, form a land bridge, not just with China, but with their most troublesome population, through Afghanistan might be the way to do it. And of course, all the infrastructure of Bagram could just as easily be used against China as much as it is used against Pakistan or Iran or the Taliban or ISIS-K in the region. That's why they want the base back. And so what has happened since 2021 is the Taliban retook control of the country. The United States lost the foothold there. And now Afghanistan is the gateway for Central Asia into the Indian Ocean. And the Taliban stands to gain from critical mineral wealth. They stand to gain from trade routes through Central Asia. And the United States maybe doesn't want the Taliban to have that kind of leverage and discretion, and they don't want the Taliban to control all that territory. So the United States will not recognize the Taliban as the sovereign government of Afghanistan.
It doesn't matter if they are the acting government,
because this is not an ordinary Afghan.
It doesn't matter what we say.
And I know this. I was in D.C. a few weeks ago. I had an Uber driver. He was Afghan. We got to talking. I said, "Where are you from?" He said, "Afghanistan." I said, "Oh, did you come here after we left?" He said, "Yeah." He said, "Yeah, a lot of us came here." He said, "There's a lot of Afghan here, and they're all Uber drivers." And I asked him about Imran Khan. And I asked him about everything that's going on over there. And he said, that's the program. He said, we are government contractors. We're in Afghanistan. We're brought over here. We love America, but we have a lot of problems here. And so you almost have to wonder if this is some kind of government operation. Everyone's wondering, is this a false flag? Now, maybe that's far-fetched. I don't think that's the likely explanation, but it's a possible one.
I mean, they were employed by us
And I guess
before.
the bigger conversation is about what is happening with the National Guard. I think regardless, maybe that's far-fetched. It's certainly possible that we brought a bunch of people from Afghanistan and one of them is like a Muslim extremist or hates Americans. It's certainly possible. Like I'm not going to go four-dimensional chess and say, no, there's no Muslims that kill people ever. That never happens. Like, it's possible. And maybe it is far-fetched that he was some MK Ultra guy, is a false flag guy, but it is worth mentioning he's a U.S. mercenary. So that does make a world of a difference. It's not like he's some random Syrian fighting with Al-Qaeda like the current president of Syria. No, he was a U.S. operative. He was on the U.S. payroll, and they brought him here, and they handled him. And you got to wonder what they did to him and who this guy really is, where his loyalties really lie, what that's all about. What's actually the motive there? It's worth pointing out, and it's worth asking the question. But I would say it's bigger than this. You know, I said this earlier in the year. The problem with this administration is when they increase the presence of law enforcement in a symbolic way, they're really playing with fire here.
Yeah,
because what the Trump administration is doing is they're gesturing towards fascism. They're signaling towards fascism, but we don't actually have it.
Yeah.
They're creating the appearance of a police state to satisfy the base.
They're provoking people.
But they're not delivering one. And people might say, well, isn't that a good thing? And I would say no. Because you can either not have a police state or you can have a police state. But you can't pretend like you have one and not have one. Why?
Yeah.
Because what the Trump administration is doing, they're deploying National Guard allegedly to all these cities. People think that's happening, even though it's really not. They're sending Border Patrol and ICE into all the cities, rounding people up in these very visible raids, very provocative. And they're bragging about it. And again, the numbers are not high. These detention facilities, many of them are empty. The mass deportations are not happening. They're sending like hundreds of personnel to round up a dozen people. Like it's not what they're making it out to be. They're marketing it like it's a restoration of law and order, but we really don't have that. How do we know? Because we keep getting shot. In Trump's first term, we all got censored. We all got banned. In Biden's term, we all got persecuted. We got charged. We got censored from other things, banned from bank accounts, no-fly list, Quad S.
We were scared to say anything.
Under Trump, we're all getting shot. He got shot. Charlie Kirk got shot. ICE is getting shot. Guy tried to shoot me. National Guard is getting shot.
Tesla dealerships are getting blown up.
They're getting shot. And the Trump administration has no ability to respond.
They don't even want to.
When Charlie Kirk got shot, Trump could not even pretend to care. Did anything result from that? No. When Charlie Kirk got shot, they said, we are going to hold these people accountable. Has even one single additional arrest been made except for Tyler Robinson? Has even one? Have they investigated it at all? Have they reported their findings? No. Have Antifa been arrested? Have any far-left agitators, have they been arrested? No. Have the people inciting violence been arrested? No. So you have this gesture, immigration raids, mass deportations, Border Patrol and ICE, National Guard, going after Antifa, but it's not really there. The numbers are nothing. The National Guard deployments just haven't happened, and where they do happen, it's like a few thousand people, nothing. Border Patrol, you know, they're making a gesture, but they're not really deporting anybody. Facilities are empty. It just isn't what they say it is. The crackdown after Charlie Kirk, they've done nothing. Nothing. And so you might say, well, does it hurt? Does it hurt to deport some people, but not many? Does it hurt to deploy some National Guard, but not enough? Yes, it does. It does hurt.
But these radical people.
Because when you gesture towards that and you talk a big game and say, yeah, we're going after everybody, they are inciting the left. They are daring the left to retaliate. In the minds of the left, they think Trump is a fascist, and Trump says, call me a fascist. Mamdani goes to the White House and Trump says, yeah, call me a fascist. I don't care. He's embracing it.
Yeah.
And the left really believes they're in the Third Reich. They think they're in the fourth Trumpenreich in America, and the Holocaust is happening, and you know they're fighting back and all this, and they take this shit seriously.
He would have a higher approval if that were the case.
And they're shooting ICE, and they're shooting it. It has happened several times now. They're shooting at ICE in Chicago. They're shooting at ICE in Texas. They're shooting at ICE in Washington State. Now they're shooting at the National Guard. This happens a lot. And maybe some of it is fake. Certainly some of it is real. You know, we'd look across the board at Luigi Mangione, Thomas Crooks, Tyler Robinson, the tranny school shootings, the shootings at ICE, the shootings at National Guard. We could say maybe some of them are fake, but definitely some are real. And the fake ones are exacerbating the real anger that is really there, the real rage that is there. And it becomes self-perpetuating. and you know that these people are sitting at home watching TV, learning about how the billionaire oligarchs are instituting their fascist police state, and there's never going to be elections, and the military needs to resist Trump, and Trump is a tyrant, and they're doing all this stuff. We got to shut down the government because Trump is destroying the institutions. And you have far left nut jobs that are saying, okay, we're going to go and kill the National Guard. We're going to go and kill ICE. These are Nazis. And if you don't actually have a police state, they're going to get away with it. It's just going to get ugly.
And that's
like I said, if you had a real
doing.
police state, how is it even possible the National Guard is being ambushed like this? How does it even happen? The problem is you don't have enough of them. You got 2,000 guys, and they're, it's lackadaisical. They're doing their patrols or walking around. It's totally unserious. And so somebody pulls up. These people are not afraid. They're not afraid. They're not afraid to go to jail. They're not afraid to die. Same thing happens with ICE. They're following ICE convoys in their cars, honking their horns, yelling, because they're not afraid. So when you step to the enemy, when you step to the left, and you gesture towards fascism, but you're not really bringing it, you're not serious, you're just daring them to retaliate. And if you're not strong, then we're just going to get killed. If you're not going to roll up Antifa, if you're not going to deploy 100,000 National Guard, if you're not going to deport millions of people, then you're just daring them. And they're emboldened and they're not afraid, and they will be out there with guns and everything. And that's what this is. I've been saying it for a long time. Crazy people and the government, they're watching these events carefully, and they see the glorification of the assassins, the shooters, and between the psychedelic drugs, the weed, the chat GPT-induced psychosis, the porn, the internet, the mental illness, the prescription drugs, this cocktail of reality-altering experiences. You have more crazy people than ever. They're all seeing the stuff, and they're all making their plans. They're all scheming.
It's like having
and it's really just a matter
variables.
of time. This is like you have live mines, like explosive mines everywhere, and we're just waiting to step on them. We're waiting for the next psycho to pop off, waiting for the next nut job to go and arm themselves because John Oliver told them that Trump is a dictator. And we're going to get more of it until and unless the Trump government is going to take it seriously and crack down. I'd support it at this point, but they're not going to do it. So they say they're going to deploy another 500. Okay, big whip. This is the Capitol. This is your law enforcement are being shot next to the White House. And you increase the deployment by 20%, you need to increase it by 5,000%. Obviously.
Yeah,
and people are watching. They see National Guard getting shot, and crazy people are saying, wow, that easy?
Right.
And I'm not trying to give people ideas, but that's what people are thinking.
Killed 2 people.
And I said it during the ICE riots at the detention facility here. I said, watch, the next thing that's going to happen, some ICE guy is going to get killed. And then it's going to escalate to a whole different level.
They already tried to kill some ICE guys.
The only difference is now they shot 2 National
Guard
Guard in D.C. Slightly different. But it's not cool. And it just goes to show. Sometimes it's better if your guy loses. It's better to not even bark up that tree. Because look at what Trump is bringing out in the left. We kicked out Biden, who was weak and senile, and the left was going down, and we brought in Trump. And Trump is now killing our side single-handedly. And he's inviting the left to refortify, regroup, and become maybe more vicious than ever because he's not serious. And that's the thing. I would love if he was. I don't like to sit here and hate on Trump all the time. But you know what? That's why people like him, and that's what people wanted, and I would like him if he delivered, but it isn't there, and that's putting all of us in jeopardy. People are looking at this and saying, wow, it's kind of stupid, isn't it? 2 National Guards just got caught with their pants around their ankles. They just got shot, and the guy got away. And they arrested him, obviously, but he was able to get it off. This is a very ominous and dark sign, and it's very worrisome, and I don't like where this is going because this is now a part of a bigger pattern. Trump gets shot. Another guy shows up in Mar-a-Lago. Luigi Mangione kills the CEO. Then you get a couple of transgender mass shootings. We had that one in Minneapolis not too long ago. Then you get the Charlie Kirk shooting. You get the attacks on ICE, the attacks on National Guard. This is all part of the same story, by the way. And the government doesn't even seem to have a message on it, let alone a solution. There's no messaging from the White House. The policy sucks.
They just pretend like everything's business as usual.
We're strapped in for 3 more years of this, and I don't like it. It's like, again,
I'm
what
not
is the
liking
Trump
it either.
government
I'm
really
very
doing for you if now we're literally
about
being shot by the left? Like, do you realize that Charlie Kirk being shot by whoever shot him, that was a failure of the Trump administration? At the minimum, you expect that when your government is in power, your people don't get shot in the fucking head. And if they do, you're going to burn the whole village down. You know, you're going to burn the whole forest down. You're going to destroy everybody that even thought about it. Why aren't people afraid
that the right is in power?
That should be the benefit of being in power. But Trump gets elected, we start getting shot. How is this good for us? His own loyalists are quitting because they don't want to get shot.
Yeah.
It's what it is.
It's not good.
That's that. We're going to move on. We're going to take a look at our super chats. We'll see what you guys have to say about all this stuff. I'm falling asleep. I'm kind of tired. I'm fixing my sleep schedule in time for the holidays. So I'm a little low energy this week. But we're going to take a look. We'll see what you guys have to say. I will see. All right. We're all set up. Let's take a look.
$50. Tucker's episode with that Haley kid was very enraging. Not surprising, but disappointing. Thank you for your service to America. I believe you are one of the great men of history. Your ability to remain humble through your generational run is inspiring to watch. America needs you and loves you. God bless.
Yeah, I didn't really watch the whole thing, but he says in the interview he got canceled for his views on economics. It's like, really?
Right.
He got kicked out of the conservative movement. Why? Because you said we need single payer? Give me a break.
Chechen Farm said $25.
Bullshit,
I sent a super chat yesterday saying that we Chechens are white Romans, but you laughed. Why? We look white, and even the white race in English sounds like the name of our region, Caucasus.
Okay.
Utah Grower $33. Nick, we seriously love you and pray to God every night for your safety and want you to lead this movement forever. Heaven forbid anything happen, but who would you want the line of succession to fall to should they try and take you out? We would never trust their Oxman sent $20. Back in 2021-22 you always listed Stalin.
Nobody can replace Nick.
For the last year you've dropped Putin entirely.
I wouldn't trust him.
Do you not see any resemblance between the two anymore or what changed? God bless.
Weird question. I've always liked Stalin since I was a kid. And Putin, I think, is okay, but no, nothing changed. So, 5 years ago, you made a throwaway remark about you admire Putin. Now you don't. I don't know. Stalin's always been my go-to. Not that deep.
Thomas Cruise sent $100. One day, when you're president, I'll be able to show my kids old clips of the president replying to my super chats. That'll be pretty sick.
That's great. Thanks for the big super chat.
Dante1099 sent $20. Hey Nick, you've been giving Tucker quite a hard time lately. Is there a particular reason for that? Random viewer sent $30. You don't talk much about the Patriot Act and the power it gave for the government to violate privacy and target citizens disliked by the administration with no accountability or visibility. You are an excellent example of how it can be abused for political purposes. Why don't you talk much about this?
It's not the Patriot attack.
Fuentes sent $100. Very special Thanksgiving shout out to Mrs. Fuentes and your sister. Hopefully they corner you and give you an absolutely devastating wedgie.
Okay.
Random viewer sent $50. Not enough people appreciate how dark money and PACs are used to manipulate us in our elections. Lots of people don't realize Musk spent $300 million and Miriam Adelson spent over $100 million with basically zero impact to their net worth. Maybe as your PAC grows and spends, your experience can be used to educate viewers?
Hang on, I'll be right back.
I talk about that almost every night,
slice
actually.
Of pizza.
I think I talk about exactly that, like literally almost every night. I love how it's always, we need to educate those other people. Like, you're not a fucking idiot. We need to educate all those other people. Like everyone, I think everyone knows that. I think everybody knows that. And I talk about it every night. We got to educate all those other people that don't know. I think everybody knows that. And if you watch my show, I talk about it all the time. So I don't know. The show is the biggest thing I do. I get 1 million views on a show. Maybe as the pack grows, you can educate viewers. I get 1 million views on a show. I talk about it all the time.
Italian Bro I sent $20. Turned 27 this week. Also recently married with a kid on the way. Am I cooked?
No one cares
MC
about
Bro
you.
I sent $21 on yesterday's super chat monologue. Or does Trump liberty, but you didn't discuss nuances to that concept. Most people would rather live in Wild West America than modern day China/North Korea. Unless you're a communist fag, in which case go sit in the corner with Hassan Piker. The Hobbs Glaze is crazy though. Renegade sent $21.
Okay.
Your criticism of Islam is effective because it is grounded in reality, not low IQ propaganda. When you say we circle a cube or we see you as idolaters as a Muslim, I can't even disagree with you. But saying forced niqabs is a bit disingenuous. No, only Afghanistan does that, and their culture was worse before Islam.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Muslims are really supportive of
Florida
women.
WAP sent $20. Love you, homie. Have a good Thanksgiving.
Thank you.
Renegade sent $21, but Muslim countries definitely oppress women. I won't disagree with that. It's just that historically, the Ottoman Empire was considered more progressive for women than medieval Europe. I'm not trying to be obtuse, sorry if I come across that way, but I just don't think these clear, counterexamples should be discarded. Jordan B sent $30. Your show was playing as I got ready for my wedding, when I landed in Bali for my honeymoon, when my wife was in labor, and many, many more core moments of my life. Insane. Happy early Thanksgiving, man. We are all grateful for Groy for this year. Salute
Happy Thanksgiving. Love to hear it, man. Good to hear from you. And it's been a journey, for all of us.
Jeff loves fishing, sent $50. Thank you.
Thank
Aaron
you.
loves broccoli, sent $50. Love the show. Big fan. One of my best friends got engaged today, his girlfriend. Both bro wipers. She low-key has a crush on you. Can you please say congrats to Aaron and Ashley? Also, what's it like being 5? Fitzgerald EQ sent $35. Thoughts? SS Edmund Fitzroy sent $100. What's your go-to doctrine in Call of War? Or do you typically choose your country based on their geography and starting resources? Happy Thanksgiving. AF is the white pill.
Thank you for the big super chat. My doctrine? What do you mean, my doctrine? Like whether I'm Allies, Axis, or Japan? Or what? Like because you get a different profile for each. If you're a Western country, you get American weapons, or Nazi weapons, or Japanese weapons. Is that what you mean? I'm not sure what you mean by
Richard
that.
Hanania Grower sent $25. You spent months insisting the U.S. was headed for a massive war with Iran. Yet that inevitable war never happened, just a brief 12-day skirmish. After being wrong on such a major prediction, it's hard to ignore how you have
That's
no idea what you're
crazy.
talking about. Have you made any response to this?
Yeah, we're not done with Iran, genius. And I'm predicting that for the same reason I predicted the war. We're not done with Iran. If you think we're finished with Iran, you're not. Sorry, you only read the headlines. I know if you're a complete idiot that only reads the headlines, you'd say, well, I haven't heard about Iran in a few weeks. I guess it's over. It's not over. They kicked out all the IAEA inspectors, and this is like an ongoing conversation about when, not if, but when the hostilities are. Why do you think Iran is buying all these materials from China to build missiles? They're getting weapon shipments from Russia. They're getting ready. It's not over yet. Not by a long shot. This war has been going on for 15 years. 15
Longer
years
than
it's been
that.
going on. You thought that was the end of it? Oh, they stopped shooting. I guess that's the end of that, right? Just like how it was in 48, 56, 67, 73. Just like when the shooting stopped in those wars, it was over and never started again. And the situation resolved.
Henry Steiner sent $20. Hey Nick, wanted to ask your opinion on the situation between Senator Kelly and Pete Cuxoth bringing him back to active service to court-martial over the Democrats' videos. Thanks, and love the
I think
show.
it's good. I love it.
G sent $20. Thank you for holding the line.
Somebody
Henry
got
Steiner
to do
sent
it.
$25. Hey Nick, wanted to ask your opinion on the situation between Fucking with Defu sent $20. Hey there, my dude. What if we all came together at the Iowa caucus and just stormed the stage and started shouting America first bitch to the crowd?
What
Lego
the
Young
fuck?
sent $20. Can we get a whole show about how Lego Star Wars Renegade sent $21. Thomas Aquinas, Maimonides and Al-Ghazali have a three-way theology debate in Jerusalem. Who's winning? Dylan Osborne sent $20. During your interview with Jack Neal, you mentioned that you listen to Earth, Wind and Fire. That makes me curious. Have you heard of and like the band Chicago? The two recently toured together and both orchestras worked together to play each song. One of the best concert experiences I've had. Love the show.
I do like
America
Chicago.
First is the only way sent $50. Candace interview converted me to America First. Royer uploads. Fuck that paywall. And haven't missed a show since. Only time in my life I've had any optimism about the future of our country. Navy vet here thanking you for your service and all the sacrifices you've endured for our country. AF for life. Realist
Thank
nigga
you
alive.
very
Happy
much.
Thanksgiving.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving, man. I appreciate Love to hear it. A little
yeah,
Candace Owens
happy
convert,
Thanksgiving
huh?
to you
NHH
guys,
sent $20.
too.
A 21-year-old white girl in my community got murdered by a black and nobody is talking about it while a pedo who is on the loose in our region is getting national media coverage cause he is a white football coach. Just want to shine light on her situation. Thank you, Nick, always. Zandiga sent $25. Ding. Hey Nick, why are Italian Americans real Americans? All they brought here was gangs, gambling, and prostitution. Sounds like black people. I'm of German heritage and they actually do stuff like engineering and architecture. Big fan though, so here's some money. Mitt Romney sent $20. In your honest opinion, is Minecraft based and red-pilled? I know some of the skins are black, but you can build whatever you want and even draw the N-word in the sky with dirt. WikiLeaks sent $50. Legend has it the original screening of A Bronx Tale had a group of...
Love to see Italians beating the shit out of hillbillies. I love it. That's my favorite scene. That's my favorite genre is in Italian movies when cowboys get the shit kicked out of them by Italians. I love that. I'm not going to lie. I love it. I love in Casino when Joe Pesci beats the shit out of the cowboy with the phone. I love in Bronx Tale when the bikers come in and the Italians beat them up. I love it. It's my favorite. It's my favorite thing. I love when my cousin Vinny, he goes down to the southern town and
Kicks the shit
throws
out of
everybody
those
for a loop. It's
rednecks.
my favorite genre. I like it.
Cala Sicilian sent $20. Yo, Nick, is your family Italian or Sicilian?
They're Calabrian. They're from Calabria, Bari, and Naples.
Felix Machinist sent $20. Will the America First Foundation write specific policy proposals on the website? Mark Levin cannot metabolize Wagaby because they do not... Jacob Carlson sent $35. 2014 Passat DDI for sale in Chicago 8005. Harry Sun sent $30. Replay gang. Happy Thanksgiving, Nick. God bless you and your family. Least favorite Thanksgiving food?
Least favorite Thanksgiving food? Probably
Yams, candied yams, gross me
maybe
out.
the cranberries. I like all of it. I like the mashed potatoes. I like the corn, turkey, stuffing,
Broccoli casserole's fire
the
too.
biscuit, the pie. But what I don't like is probably
The cranberry's good. You got to mix it in.
cranberries. Never get the cranberries. But we only have that stuff. People always, they do the sweet potato thing, mac and cheese. We never did that for Thanksgiving.
I don't do that. My mom used to do the sweet potatoes.
Thing, maybe,
I'm good on that
here,
shit.
We only ever did that stuff.
Candied yams with the marshmallows across the top.
Oh, sorry, I'm a new viewer, so if you already said it, my bad. Everyone that isn't convinced about Israel because of faith. Read Kenneth Kimball. Israel is not a place. God's chosen people is the people of Israel, meaning Jacob's descendants. What we now call Israel isn't the Israel in the Bible.
Right.
Also, thank you.
Great. Never heard that before.
Dr. Trump sent $50. There is a small coalition of grow-wipers growing in Janesville, Wisconsin. Thoughts on Janesville?
I don't know. I went there years ago. I don't really remember it.
Based Obama sent $22. Verse. Jay-Z, Rothschild, Vu Rumser, Soros, Blinken Levin, a boomer with no motion question. El Guapo sent $30. Just watched Piers Morgan on Tucker's podcast. According to Piers, England's never been better. What a complete snake.
Why is that a snake?
Brown Growiper sent $25. Favorite Thanksgiving dish. Also, happy Thanksgiving.
Stuffing.
Freedom Lover 13 sent $100. Nick,
Stuffing
you have been able
is
to speak the truth
fire.
candidly in a way that so many of us simply have not had the courage to do. You are an inspiration. Is there a way we can get involved in
I
America
can't
First
wait for
beyond
that
financial support
turkey
alone?
tomorrow.
Nope. Thank you very
That
much.
shit's going to be
Hairless
so
Twitter today.
fire.
Thanks.
Squirrel Girl sent $21. Animal Transporter here. You can meet my prairie dogs who already know the sound of your voice, Artie the Armadillo, and Fred the Ferret if he isn't being too feisty. All the other small critters too if you aren't frightened. Sent you a photo on X if you want to see the proud, bold face of a growy prairie dog. Come meet them.
All right. Maybe I'll check
John
it out.
B2 sent $50. First super chat. Been watching since Myron showed your stream when we bombed Iran. Heard 10 minutes and never left since. Stopped smoking weed and been working way harder since to get more money and got closer
Love
with
it.
God. Thank you truly. And do you still use Minect?
No, I haven't been on there in a long time, but thank you. Love
America
to hear
First
it.
1776 sent $20. Hey Nick and God bless. I hope you have a great Thanksgiving with your family. Your generational run is legendary. MAGA is dead and America First replaced it. The Grow Wipers will be at primaries in 2028.
Yep.
Tree Farmer 99
Yes,
sent
we will
$20.
be.
Been a supporter since 2017. I fell out of religion but have been going to a non-denominational church and have been looking into Catholicism. Love all you do and I hope you have a great
Good.
Thanksgiving.
Love it. You too, man.
Gentleman sent
Thank you.
My
$150.
mom's been
Kansas
looking
farm
into
to Chicago Crocodile.
Catholicism
Does the broader
too.
population
It's
really
weird.
despise us? View our government aid and subsidies as welfare while they are on food stamps?
We don't
Blame us
think
for
of
voting
you.
for our own downfall as if Big AG doesn't own both parties? I imagine you don't have experience in the AG sector, but here's some of my Chinese soybean shackles anyways. Great work.
To tell you the truth, we don't think about you. We don't think about what happens out there. What's out there? Who even knows? Okay. We're here in the city. Like, we're preoccupied with our own business and our own things and our own problems. So country people, what do you city folk think of us? We don't. Thank you for the big super chat, though.
We don't. That's a
It's
good way
country
to put
people
it.
that are obsessed with city people. Country people are obsessed with city people, hating them, resenting them. Oh, you're a city slicker. You think you're better than me. We don't think of you at all. We're busy with our own shit. We have stuff to do here. Okay? We try cool new restaurants. We see the sights. We go out on the weekends. We have shit to do. We don't have time to sit around and think about a bunch of farmers.
But you're godless.
But I always get the southern people and country people in general. They say, "You city slicker, you fucking
City
Yankee."
people are godless,
It's like,
nasty
dude,
people.
We're like, okay, like, congratulations. Good for you. We're going to go back to this. We're city people talking amongst ourselves. So did you see that play? Oh, wow. Did you try that new restaurant? Oh, did you see they just opened this over here. Oh, they're doing a new development. And then some country person, hey, we don't like y'all. And we're like, okay, good. Anyway.
Yeah,
No, but I appreciate
I'm
the
sure
big
it's
super chat.
going
I don't
great in
mind country
Chicago.
people. I really don't. I don't mind country people at all. Country people are good people, but they hate
They're
us
better
for some
people.
reason. They hate us because they ain't us.
Fishking 98 sent $25.
That's fine.
I doubt
Thank you
it.
for being a voice of
I
truth.
doubt it very
Supporting America
much.
First from
I'm
Northwest
not
Arkansas.
country. I live in the city,
Thank you
but I
very
doubt
much.
very much that country people
Lon Sola sent
think
$20.
about
The
city
reason you
people
firemen and Uber
at
drivers and
all.
service workers asking how they can help the movement is literally because they watched Fight Club. Praetorian Gord sent $100. I was reading today that Rush Hour 4 is now in production at the behest of Trump. Finally, this guy is doing something to put America first.
That's just slop. Thanks for the big super chat, but that's slop.
Trivalent sent $20. Hey Nick, did you see the guy who used to do the ShamWow commercials is running to unseat a Republican in Texas? Vince Offer, the guy punched a hooker who bit his tongue in 2009. He's also Jewish.
Yeah, who cares?
Basil Bactrian sent $50. I was me lol. Important to remember there is no such thing as an Afghan refugee after 2021 when the Taliban liberated Kabul. There's been peace for 5 years. We need to normalize relations with the Taliban to get rid of those collaborationists' legal pretext for asylum to send them all back. Trump could have but didn't cancel the SI versus. God bless.
So true. Hey, I'm glad to hear you're okay. Glad to hear you're not in custody. Was a little worried there for a second. I saw this big Afghan guy on the stretcher, and I said, oh my gosh, what happened to my friend? But it turns out it was a different one, so that's good. No, but I'm glad to hear it. Thank you very much. You're right about that.
It's
You're
Cutler
right.
sent $20. Hi Nick.
Hey.
Six Rimas sent $20. Can't wait to red pill the family during Thanksgiving dinner tomorrow.
Yep.
AKP 789
That's
sent $20.
crazy.
I'm trying to listen to the stream, but my wife is obsessing over the pumpkin. JO67 sent $20. I may not agree with you on every take, but I can tell you're real because of that. Unlike someone like Carlson. You're one of one. Nick, stay safe. You can't be replaced.
Very
God bless.
true. Thank
Jordan
you.
DeMarco sent $20. Long story short, I have this good friend named Joe Ferenda, and I've just recently realized that I have developed intense sexual feelings for him. Any thoughts on how I should go about this?
I don't know what that is or what that's referring to, but that's kind of funny.
XL Diablo Blanco sent $100. Happy W. Wayne giving.
Thank you for the big super chat, white ass nigga giving. How white ass nigga giving? White ass nigga giving. Nigga giving. Nit. White ass nigga giving. Nigga giving. What up? Yeah, little of that.
AFAF sent $20. I am the descendant of an American hero who died during the Civil War. His name was Nicholas Nicolaus Darter from Vienna, Illinois, and he was a private in the 120th Illinois Volunteer Infantry.
Cool.
He died young at the age of 32. I am voting Fuentes 32 to carry on the legacy of the Illinois infantryman. Godspeed.
Good for you. Wow. That's one of those things people say, and what is reaction supposed to be like? Great. Like, dude, brother. I am the descendant of a Civil War veteran. I am doing it for the Illinois infantrymen. Okay, man, you want a sticker or something? Junior firefighter sticker?
Silent Observer sent $25.
No, but I love to hear
Silent
it.
Observer sent $25. Theo Von Red Pilled.
We just need to save America and the white race. Like, we don't got to be LARPers.
Silent Observer sent $25. Theo Von Red Pilled. He was on Joe Rogan recently and brought up Israel multiple times in the form of double meaning questions. Rogan was definitely nervous lol. Theo has commented negatively on a video of Ben Shapiro's no retirement. Comment. Love to see big influencers moving this way. Stay real, sir. Christ is king.
Is Theo Von based?
What?
He said something based. I think he might be based. He should run for president. Yeah, like, okay. That's true.
OxyClean
yeah, no, look, everyone's red pilled now. It's 2025. Everyone's red pilled.
OxyClean sent $50. Love you, brother.
Thank you.
Odysseus sent $25. Hilarious how every time one of the conservative women who is against feminism and on the side of man actually occurs any conflict or criticism from a man, the inner feminist and sisterhood comes out viciously and with revenge. The psyop is deep.
Love it. Beautiful.
It
it's
is.
so good. It's so good. I thought some things are just so good. It's just I feel vindicated about everything lately. Like the Jews get together at their Congress and they're like, we need to ban anti-Semitism. Nick Fuentes, like,
Thank
you
you.
guys seeing this? Marjorie Green, emotional crash out, hates men. Guys, no, look, guys, you're not watching.
Guys.
Look, hang up and hang out. Look, watch, you're missing it. I'm right about this too.
So
You know, black
funny.
people setting bitches on fire, stabbing them to death. It's like, guys, another one. Look, just like we
He's
said.
right though.
So, yeah, I don't love to see that, but it feels reassuring to know that I'm not crazy.
Italian Grow Viper sent $20. Tucker's wank of the week has been revoked. He's the new babe. Bitch ass nigga.
Yeah,
Bean Supreme 44 sent $20. When I think of the greatest man in politics, I think of Augustus Caesar. He gave his wife some political power because for 30 years she did her part in the house. Women need to be like Livia and STFU.
Okay.
Taco Dog sent $20. The background lighting is too bright. Say hi to Vince for me. Keufus Roy sent $20. First time donating. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thanks.
Renegade Priest sent $20. Love the haircut. Happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Happy
Tomahawk 48
Thanksgiving.
sent $20. First super chat. Love from Hawaii. Just watched your last Hey Jay show appearance. Crazy you
Hawaii,
predicted the
no
ice agent being
shit.
shot. Next time will you tell him to stop interrupting you every sentence?
No, because that's just how he is. That would, we can't take that from him. We love the big guy. We love Alex.
Chicago Catholic sent $50. Windy today, at least here in Wheaton. Anyway, are you familiar with
Very
Nick Land's work,
windy.
specifically the Dark Enlightenment? Any opinions?
Trash. No. It was very windy today. It was loud. It was so cold and so loud. The wind was unbelievable. Like my house was shaking. Yeah, it was rough.
Roy Bermom,
Very cold,
1770s.
but I like it that way.
Roy Bermom 1776 sent $25. Politician here. Why are you so right? I recently got elected. A year in. I had to get treated for anxiety. Lol. But the ugly truth is, thanks to beta males, we were forced to step up. Man up men.
No, no. We will do our job. I'm doing my job, but you need to do your job. You can't tell men what to do. That's the problem. Women, because then women do this roundabout thing where they're like telling men to tell them what to do, but you're still telling them what to do. All right, listen up, you men. You need to be real men now. It's like, hey, a real man is going to say, I don't take orders from women. That's always how that goes.
Seriously.
Like, don't you start now. We started off real good. Now, let's not end on a bad note. Man up, she says. I don't want to hear that. A man's going to put his foot down and say, no. No, men will tell other men to man up. You don't need to tell. You don't concern yourself with that. Don't tell men to man up. You can want men to man up. You can encourage maybe your man to man up. That's part of the problem. But yeah, look, I love women, but they don't belong in politics. It's not good for them. It's not good for us. It's not good for anybody.
Peace Supremacy sent $50.
That's wrong.
Muslim Groy per here. 100% agree on your MTG analysis. When the Prophet Muhammad heard the news that the people of Persia had made the daughter of Khusro their queen, ruler, he said, never will succeed such a nation as makes a woman their ruler. Source, Sahih Bukhari Hadith 7099.
Well, the prophet was right about that. Let's just say that much.
For sure, man.
Muhammad was right about one thing. Women should not run the country.
Women should not be in charge.
You know, I don't agree with Muhammad on everything, but I will say this. You know, I don't agree with Muhammad on everything, but the one thing I agree with Muhammad on, women should not be in charge.
Yep.
You know, we disagree on a lot, and I don't endorse everything.
Rakshaka sent $40. As a father of a white baby boy, I'm deeply thankful for you. I pray for his future in this country all the time. Your drive and hard work for this movement is not unnoticed by the young millennial men. You do not receive enough blazing or appreciation for your struggle in this endeavor. May Jesus continue to bless you.
Thank you I do appreciate that. It's true. Everybody just attacks me. Yeah, I get a lot of glaze, but Catholics, pro-white people, everybody just takes the piss. It's very frustrating, but I appreciate that. Thank you.
Ayatollah Groy percent $50. Nick, I am a part of a growing community of AF American Muslims. We love America and we love our Christian brothers. We have been rallying support in the Muslim community for you and stand with you against your detractors. We believe in you. May God bless and protect you always.
Unity.
And may God bless the USA.
We could use all the help we can get.
Unity under Christian rule forever. Thank you very much.
$25.
We could use all the help we can get.
I wouldn't be a good politician for the movement, since I have a wife and kid. I'm out of the gov game. This game isn't for people with extensive liabilities. I'll stick to my job at the GIA. Happy Thanksgiving from Silicon Valley.
Thank you so much. Well, I wouldn't even say it's a liability as much as it is you got other responsibilities.
Yeah.
A man cannot serve two masters. And we all face these decisions in life. You have to prioritize your time, your energy. And when you have a family, it's very hard. It's very hard to make both of these things work, especially if you're serious about your family. If you're at the highest level, if you're competitive, if
you're just going to shortchange the people you love.
Sacrifice, risk. We all know you're torn. You're torn in half, and eventually you got to go down one way or the other.
Yeah.
Are you gonna miss your kid's baseball game to go to the big meeting, or are you gonna miss out on the meeting? You can't be there. You can't be there early. You know, arrive early, leave late. You can't be there absolutely every time when you're needed, because you always got family emergencies, family business, family issues. And it just goes without saying that it will divide up your responsibilities. And I don't tell people don't have a family. You know, everybody always says that. I never say that. I tell people have a family, but I say that you need to understand what you're getting into. And if you really want to change politics, that might be, you know, you're going to have to understand that the family might have to take a back seat from time to time. And you got to be okay with that. You know, it's like that movie, The Heat. You know, when Robert De Niro says, when the heat is around the corner, you got to be able to leave in 5 minutes and leave everything behind. It's like that. And, you know, Al Pacino and Robert De Niro in that movie, that's like us. That's like the enemy on one side and it's us on the other. So.
Grippy Groy Pat Stan sent $30. What do you think about the Groy Pet movement? Shout out Groy.
I don't support it. I don't want the
Evan
female
Bolster sent
fans.
$40. Investigators are saying the Afghan shooter applied for asylum in 2024 and was granted early this year. Might not have been an Afghan fighter taken by the botched withdrawal, just a foreigner allowed in by lax border policies.
No, he was.
Catholic Darling sent $25. I hated when you said that nothing is really expected of women. But you're right tongue, but now I really am at a loss of what is expected of me. Your opinion on women in politics is so freeing. A lot of women feel the same way, but we are doubly hated for saying it because we're traitors. God bless. Less than 333.
Traitors. Traders. They engage in trade.
Traders, yeah. They engage in trade.
You hated that? Why? Whatever.
Truth Lover 69 sent $20. We cast monologue tonight.
Yeah, well, we can't all be winners. I'm
Love the show
tired.
from Canada. We're cooked up here. Palest of the pale
Yeah, you are.
Right, tomorrow's fucking Thanksgiving show.
Stay safe. Happy Thanksgiving to you, family and AF team. P.S. Ordered a bunch of merch. Us old moms appreciate CC payments. God bless.
Glad to hear it. Thank you for the big super chat. Yep.
Noted 12 sent $175. 1950 70S cars.
Okay, thanks for the big
BDN 18
super
sent $20.
chat.
Nick, we need you to take over already. We cook right now. Kick Hannah K with you, she spit. Zippy sent $50.
Thanks.
Big Daddy Waller sent $50. Hi, Nick. Any plans for the holiday?
Yep.
Narker sent $50. Was crossing a
I
street
feel
friend
like
yesterday wearing my camo AF
as soon as the boomers start dying off, or as soon as they let go of power, shit's going to start changing so radically in America. Because they're the only reason why it isn't now. They refuse to let go. But when they do, they will be forced to let go. And when they do, oh, how tables will turn.
No, that's not Thanksgiving. That's not Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is turkey, stuffing. That you need to have that at least. Turkey and stuffing. If there's no turkey and stuffing, it's not
Mashed
Thanksgiving. I don't like all
sure.
that ethnic bullshit. I don't like when Italians do it. I don't like when Mexicans do it.
I don't like anything ethnic in Thanksgiving. I like it just to be straight
turkey,
up
stuffing,
Thanksgiving.
Mashed potatoes, gravy, corn, biscuits, pie. Like you have to do that. You
Candied
have to.
yams,
It's an American
pecan
holiday.
pie,
we have to eat
pumpkin
American
pie.
food. So,
My mom does the broccoli casserole instead of the green bean casserole, which is fire.
Regular old fucking fiesta.
Blonde 1738 sent $20. LOL, why you savage to some of your super chatters? Patty IRA Grower percent $25. I'm Catholic, my girlfriend is Jewish. I had a rabbi come up to me at her service and claim that staying with her would turn me against Christ. I found it comical they try to run me away. I usually talk about Mass and awe over how it's truly the fulfillment of the Torah. Any other suggestions on to help convert her?
No,
Adolf
fuck
Bashar Hitler
off.
Assad sent $30. The Jack Neal interview was great. At the 1 hour, 18 minute, and 20-second mark you can see a spider abseil down a strand of silk behind you to the left lol.
Really? Ugh, I don't like that. That's creepy. Is that I don't like that at all. I really hate spiders.
Huh.
Let me see.
Figures.
Let me take a look. I got to see this. 1 minute, 18 minutes, 20 seconds. Or 1 hour, 18 minutes. Ah! Ew! Yeah, you can. Ugh. Gross. Dude, imagine if it landed on me. That would have been a serious aura loss. Yuck.
It would have
I hate that. I wish you never
squealed like a girl.
$20. What is your beef with the South? Just seems divisive, and country folk and farmers are the backbone of America, and cities can't run with farmers.
See, you're just sensitive. I don't have a beef. The South has a beef with us, fucker. The South has a beef. We never hear the end of it. Oh, you Yankees. Oh, you city people. Oh, yeah. It's you that has a problem with us. And I'm like, you know what? We don't want to hear it anymore. You know, that's it. I don't have beef with the South. Here's the thing. I don't really love the South, okay? I love the people, but I would never live there. I just don't, it's not my culture. I feel like an alien there. It's too humid, too hot. The people act differently down there. They talk too slow. They're too relaxed. The food's not good. And, yeah, so it's just, that's not my way of life. I am, I'm from the North. I'm of the North. I'm the king of the North. I'm the king in the North. Okay, that's cringe, but that's where I'm from. That's my culture. I can't do all that. I can't do the aesthetic. I can't do the theme. The theme of the South is like cowboy. The theme of the South is like farmer. I can't do that. The theme of Chicago is like, it's a lot of different things. It's organized crime, industry, gangs, violence. That's the theme of Chicago. Skyscrapers, architecture. Like, this is the theme. But the theme down there, it's like farmers, cowboys, honky tonks, country music, pickup truck, my girlfriend and my dog. Up here, it's like, freezing cold, carrying a gun, walking through the city, looking over his shoulder. The train goes by. It's really loud. It's industrial. It's dark. Everything looks decrepit. Everything looks lived in. It's dark outside. Like, this is where I live. I live in that shit.
Hamsonet sent $20. Japan is truly our greatest ally, and barbarians are downstream from corruption, enslaving peaceful mountain people for cheap labor. Scott Klein Wang sent $20. Does Chicago have as bad of a rat problem as NY?
I don't know, actually. I think we have rats.
Go to Chmooza sent $20. The guy who's a descendant of the man who was head of the CIA and invariably had blood on his hands goes around telling everyone that blood guilt isn't real. Interesting. Tom sent $25. Med school Groiper, set to make money. Eventually, the lady makes relatively good money, but yet doesn't want to pay for my late night DoorDash tonight on an evening she didn't cook any dinner. Women, Omirai? Shout out Fish King in NW, Arkansas. Let's kick it.
All right.
Anthony sent $200. MTG face hit the brick ceiling.
Yes, it did. And yes, it did. Thank you for the big super chat. Yeah. The ceiling is made out of bricks. She couldn't climb up to it, man. She fell. She didn't even encounter the ceiling. She just fell. Gracelessly. Typical. Couldn't even catch herself. That was
Jessica
brutal.
sent $20. Happy Thanksgiving. What is something you're thankful for this year? Smile.
I'm thankful to be alive. I'm thankful for my family. Thankful for my great group of friends. I'm thankful for all of you and to have a platform and be able to have a living and do what I love. That's what I'm thankful for. I'm thankful for another beautiful day in the world.
Ladylike 123 sent $20. New listener. I started following you after I saw you on Candace. You're the only one who actually tells the whole truth. Figures in the podcast world that I use to respect aren't appealing anymore because they always feel the need to add a disclaimer by calling you an anti-Semite before admitting you're right.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Crab Apples sent $50. Why are feminists hung up on white men in leadership roles but say nothing about the Jews that run everything?
Seriously, that's a good question.
That's a really good question.
Main Roy per
You
convert.
should find out the
man.
answer
Main
to
Roy per
that.
convert sent $20. Happy Thanksgiving. Nick.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Adam 777 sent $25. Nick, did you see Candace's tweet about Macron trying to have her killed, but now she's saying the White House/intel agencies have confirmed receipt of her report and that the president will have to come out and address it now. Lol. Happy Thanksgiving.
It's so crazy, man. How is this going to end? How is the story going to end? It just gets crazier and crazier. And like all the conspiracies are bleeding into each other. It's like I said the other night, like you just knew that the first show she did about Charlie Kirk's assassination, that eventually it would turn into a Brigitte Macron thing. Like you just knew from the very beginning it was going to find its way back to being about Brigitte Macron. I guess I just underestimated the extent to which it would lead back to everything that ever happened. The Stanford prison experiment and MK Ultra and the Nazi regime and Project Paperclip and the French Revolution. So, yeah, like we knew that was coming, and now
she's a whack job.
How's the story going to end? Because it's like she just keeps going, and it gets crazier and crazier. It's like either she's going to be proved spectacularly wrong and get sued and lose all her money, or I don't know, maybe she'll be right. Maybe the president will come out and say, leave Candace Owens alone.
Big Daddy Waller sent $100. You look like you could use a hug.
Okay, thank you for the
Diamond
big
Synergy
super
sent $20.
chat.
Are the Rothschild the main source of corruption in the world? Vexdel sent
No, it's the Dems,
Vexdel sent
bro.
$20.
It's the Dems.
Can confirm Terry's a lot of Afghan immigrants in the Bay Area. Many of them got visas/citizenship after helping the U.S. against the Taliban, even before the Biden admin. They love America, not so much the Middle East. Happy Thanksgiving, viewer.
Thank you.
IK88 sent $20. Hey Nick, happy Thanksgiving. My dad and stepmom were talking to me today about politics and asked me if I ever heard of you. Turns out they love your show. Peace out, brother.
Let's go. Great. Love to hear it. Happy Thanksgiving.
That's pretty dope.
Dragon sent $20. Are we still fucking with our day one Keith Woods or nah? He seemed to appreciate you more.
Yeah, I think he's learned to appreciate me a little bit more. There was a lack of appreciation there. It had to be addressed. Had to fight for it. Had to fight for that one a little bit. No, but we're cool now. We like Keith again. And yeah, he's showing me the appreciation I think that I deserve as a close friend. I'm your friend. You should appreciate me. So I think now I feel satisfied. Now I feel acknowledged a little bit. So we're riding with Keith. We like Keith again. We could never really stay bad at each other. We're too, I don't know. I mean,
old souls.
He's one of the few people that sort of gets it. There's parts of it that he doesn't get. It's the submarine thing. He'll never get that, and like the vaccine thing, like the vaccine. So there's some things we're never going to win him over on. He's never going to see the light, but he's a good guy and we're friends, and I'm happy to have him back in the fold here. Old Keith Woods, my man, Keith Woods. And at the end of the day, we're Irish. We can't fight. We're two Irishmen. So we have to take our own side, and that's our side. We're Irish. I am Irish after all. He's Irish. I'm a quarter Irish. He probably looks down on me, literally and figuratively, like I'm some sort of mongrel. That's okay. You have no fucking guns, bitch. And you have, he could say, oh, well, Americans, they don't think and yet they are. He could look down on us. Oh, okay, you have no guns, dude. No guns, no ships. You and what army? Huh? Anyway, so no, but we don't need to relitigate all that, but we're taking our own side. The Irish, Bannon, me, Keith. Who are some other great Irishmen? It's the Irish. The Irish are our closest ally, truly.
Wonton Farmer sent $20. Hey, Nick, wanted to thank you for everything you do. Do you have any words of inspiration for people who suffer with depression and can't find motivation in life? Christ be with you.
Words of inspiration. People that suffer with depression can't find I would say it's a part of life. There's nothing I can, you'll never hear something that will necessarily make you feel better. Maybe just accepting that it's okay to be miserable. Life is miserable. Life is monotonous. Life is miserable. I think a lot of depression comes from the expectation that you're supposed to feel good all the time. Why would you? Life sucks. It's painful. It's miserable. It's monotonous. It's fucking boring. Like, most of life is suckage. 80% of it is just dog shit. It's waking up when you don't want to, doing things you don't want to, having to deal with people you don't like.
That's the human condition.
So, I get miserable, I get depressed, and I just kind of live in it. I feel depressed, and I'm like, I feel depressed today. But some things that snap me out of it, sometimes when I look at TikTok and I see other people that really have a fucked up life, that snaps me out of it a little bit. Sometimes I feel no motivation, and then I see someone that's like 700 pounds, and I'm like, damn, I got to get it going. Or I see like a hoarder house. I see these houses on TikTok of like, they got shit literal fecal matter everywhere, and the house is a mess. And I'm like, damn, I got to clean my house today. You know what I mean? I see that stuff on TikTok.
That's gross.
And it makes
Hoarders.
me say, damn, I can't be such a loser. I got to get up.
You got to be introspective.
So that helps. But life is pretty depressing. I don't know what to tell you. It just is. But I'm sort of a melancholic person. I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing.
Dylan King sent $20. I love how you don't care about half of these super chats and how they glaze you, bro. First time viewing, just trying to see how you think.
Interesting. Wow.
Shockwave
What do you think so
sent
far?
$20. A bunch of Muslims have bought our old Catholic church down the street and are turning it into a mosque. How cooked is our neighborhood?
That's bad. That's not good. Like, what do I love these questions. It's like they're tearing down a church and they're building a synagogue. What do you think about that? Is that good or bad? Like, what do you think I'm going to say? Like, what? They tore down a charity and they're building a trap house. What is this, good or bad for my neighborhood? They tore down a retirement home for the blind and deaf, and they're building a drug den. They're building a prison. Is this good or bad? Like, why? Why are half the super chats like that?
I agree that Candace is all over the map and drawing connections that are pretty thin, but it's not all nonsense. There's some there.
Okay, you're an idiot like her.
Flawed Agrota sent $20. Noticed you followed James Fishback recently. Any insight on him currently? Or will there be any takes on him coming?
Still no. I'll let you know.
Curtis Yarvin says the same thing on every interview. Does he know anything else?
No, it's all the same shit. It's, Franklin Roosevelt, Oliver Cromwell. Like that's the whole bit. You've heard it once, you've heard it all. Same thing with Peter Thiel. The world of bits, the world of atoms. Like that's all these fucking people have to say. It's the same stuff every time. We've seen it, we've heard it. Been there, done that, got the t-shirt.
Love Yannick sent $20. America isn't America anymore. We need a leader that isn't an absolute pussy and puts America first. Fuck these other countries, America first.
So true.
Hood 44 sent $20. Love from Elmhurst.
Hey, Elmhurst! Let's go, Elmhurst! Great town. Love Elmhurst. Underrated.
Russian bot Sasha sent $25. Nick, I am Mexican, Ukraine, and Polish. I will cook you all the food and cookies. And I shut up. I emailed you. Smile.
No, I need to marry a white person. I don't think you heard me. And a white woman before he said person, a white woman, of course. No, I need to marry a white woman. Okay, I don't hear any white in there. Mexican, Ukraine, Polish. Where's the white women? You said there'd be white women here. Where are they? I don't see them. Are they in the room with us? No, I'm kidding. Look, I respect your dignity as a human person. I don't think you should be tortured. I don't think that everything is permitted against you in war. I mean, you're a human being, absolutely. But are you white? That's questionable. That's all. That's all I'm saying, okay? Relax. Don't get so mad. Mexican, Ukraine, and Polish, that's a fucking diabolical combination. Diabolical. What even the hell is that? Mexican, what's the food? What's the spread going to look like? Pierogies and tamales? Like, what even is that? Borscht and a torta? What even is that?
Larry Silverstein is a piece of shit devil cunt sent $20. Nick, you're going to be a great father. Here's $20
really
with child support. I was just hanging out with Jensen Huang, Mark Zuckerberg, and Al Pacino with Popeyes. Lol JK, happy Thanksgiving, my nigga. And Larry Silverstein is a motherfucker. Lol, let's get this money, Nick, and make this country better.
That's okay. Glad you're being a good sport.
Plugged
Very
out sent
good.
$20. Do you think she'll be around Hammer Scissor? Goof Troop sent $25. I think we are all a bit disappointed you didn't dress up as a full-blown pilgrim with a buckle hat for a Thanksgiving episode. Candace wouldn't have been able to resist.
Huh.
Imagine. Costume party. She's the Indian.
Huh. The token Indian.
We'd have to invert it to make it fun. I'd be the Indian. She'd be the pilgrim. That'd be a little twist of fate.
Would make more sense, actually.
Tyler Brackman sent $50. Happy Thanksgiving, man. Met you at Stop the Steal in 2020. Vindicating hearing all my normal friends catching on you now. Hope all is well, God bless.
She captures me, makes me lead the way. She captures me. My whole tribe is eliminated. She captures me, makes me lead the way, show her the path. I'm clearing the brush like the ancestors did for thousands of years. We use every piece of the buffalo. We use every part of the bison.
They used its tendons to make bow and arrows.
Hey, that's awesome. Good to hear from you, buddy. We met at Stop the Steal, huh? A long time ago. Man, feels like another lifetime.
Duffman224 sent $20. W. Calabria mention. My family is from there. Was my mom's maiden name. Happy Thanksgiving.
Let's go. Yeah. Calabria mentioned. We love it. And we love it.
369 Judd sent $50. My brother kissed this chick I like 9 hours after she swallowed my shit. Made him give me 50 to super chat. Nick at night is better than I ever could have imagined. Thoughts on Theo Von? Love you, Niga.
All right. Come on now. We can't be gross like there's women and children watching this show. You're talking like that's disgusting. Theo Von, I like him. I think he's funny. Okay, all right. That's the last super chat. That's all I got for you. I'm tired. This has been a long year. I'm ready to take my vacation. Too. I'm going to come back in 20. Look, generational run. A nigga is tired. This has been a marathon, and I've been running like it's a sprint. Your boy is tired. We're going to do the show for the remainder of the year. Then we're going to bring it in for a landing. I'm going to take a vacation. I'm going to come back 26, ready to go.
Nice. Hell yeah.
ready to go in, ready to fuck. We're going in. That's so gross. Why am I'm a little delirious because I'm tired right now. Because I'm half asleep right now. I'm in the twilight state there, but I'm going to come back. So this is the last show of the week. I'm not going to be here tomorrow, Friday, but I'll be back Monday. We'll finish strong. I got a few more collaborations planned, some other things going on, and then we're going to come back really hard in 26 with the foundation, with some new stuff, hit the ground running after I take a little time off from the super chats, little mental health vacation for my sake. All right, well, that's the last super chat. Remember to smash the follow button, smash the like button, leave a comment. Let me know what you think about the show. I'm on the air Monday through Friday. As always, thank you to our top super chatters. Special thank you to Tony, not Andy, Gemini, Big Daddy Waller, Thomas Cruz, Women for Fuentes, Edmund Fitzgroiper, Freedom Lover, Praetorian Gourd, Diablo Blanco,
right, guys,
Palest
I'm gonna
of
go
the
ahead
Pale,
and cash out and get some sleep. I appreciate y'all watching.
Thanks to all
Hope
our
y'all
super
have a good
chatters and
evening.
everybody that watches.
Enjoy
we love
your
you. I'll see you on
Thanksgiving.
Monday. Until
Get
then,
you
have
some
a great
turkey,
weekend.
get you some pie.
Have a happy Thanksgiving.
I'll
Have a
catch
great
y'all on the
rest of
next
your
one.
evening.
Americanism, not globalism, will be our credo. It's going